coming into the encoder.
I need people to just see like
what
it's really like, or just really sad beforehand.
All right. Gotta
And then I activate a switch.
hit the go live button. So we gotta act like we're happy to be alive. All right, here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3. We are going.
Bill Burr's an American hero.
Oh, Bill Burr. I think we should have a Saudi comic festival every single weekend.
I know.
Oh, what? We're live?
It's weird how that's becoming such a talk.
No. What do you mean?
Then they go on safe talk shows. So that way they can't get too hard pressed.
Yes. They go talk to the people who they know are going to softball them.
It's really good. Wait, are we live?
We are live.
Oh, we are live.
We're so live.
Hello there, citizens of the Reject Nation. Welcome to the Real Rejects podcast. Coy is out of town right now. He is at New York Comic Con doing some fancy panels. And I decided, let's just have John step in.
Hey.
Additionally, I wanted to make John's life even more difficult. I forgot to ask for another person to be here to handle the tech side.
No, this is gonna be fun.
So John's gonna be
This
doing.
is gonna be fun. I'm gonna get to know what Corey Coleman goes through every single day.
John's the real MVP right now. He's the real hero. I want to see how like subconscious your cutting back and forth has become.
It comes and goes.
I will not fully mess with you in the beginning.
I appreciate
I'll let you get comfortable, and then I will mess with you.
Thank you.
So we have some stories we want to get into. Obviously, last night was the Peacemaker Season 2 finale, so there will be spoilers for Peacemaker Season 2. Admittedly, there's a part of me that was a bit relieved to see that we were not alone. You know, like we do our reviews, and then we don't know what people are saying. So it was like, wasn't as off base as I thought we might have been with the way a lot of the audience was feeling. Like, going to get a storm of hate this time, but apparently not. Not that makes me happy. I'd rather this show be universally loved.
I mean, I think we would all. It's weird. It's just a good confirmation we're not insane or we're not like too grouchy or jaded or something like that. I think is the best part of that. It's like if other people are like, I had some issues too. You're like, oh, good. I'm not just a curmudgeon.
It's a weird sense of relief when you do something like this, right?
Yeah.
I would love to be, I guess, like Cosmonaut Variety Hour or Red Letter Media.
Hell yeah.
To the point where you genuinely just give no shits about what the audience thinks of your opinion.
Yeah.
So the thing that helps me be in that state of mind is choosing which videos to intentionally not look at comments on. So like I didn't read any of the comments for any of Peacemaker Season 2 because I was concerned that it would affect my honesty since we're going to be covering a whole series of television. I didn't want like, oh crap, I saw these comments about us on the prior video. Now I don't want to factor that in mind when we're watching
like
it.
I'm adjusting to that and not absorbing the show itself. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I do wish Roxy was here for this one. I feel like she'd be such a fantastic contribution for this discussion.
3 camera
time. And, there's other stories that we want to get into, like Predator. I think we want to kind of talk about Predator Badlands. What do you want to talk about today, John?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
There was like stories I pulled up, but do we really care to talk about a lot of them? We want to get to the meat and potatoes of the real thing that you guys are clicking on this video for.
I mean, Predator Badlands, it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not like I'm not, in a panic. I don't have like some real angry thing to say about it. TMNT 2. AI controversy.
It's one of those things where
see it.
We can like mine conversation from it for sure. There's something to discuss, but do we feel strongly about any of these things?
I feel like Peacemaker is going to be the strongest feeling of the week.
Yeah. We're just going to feel this one out today, people. This is a feeling day. Please, if you are here, if you could leave a like on the video. I say if. I know you're more than capable. Please leave a like on this video. Thank you to all who do contribute to our Super Chats and Streamlabs. Great way to support the channel. Woo! We never end a stream until we go through every single one of them. And since it's John and I, odds of us staying here longer than planned, pretty likely.
Yeah. Get ready. Get ready to not stay on track today. But it's good. I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about. And people seem excited in the chat, too. So.
All right. Well, I say we kick it off. But before we do, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling all right today.
Did you get any sleep? I know we were here both pretty late last night.
I had some sleep. Yeah, I didn't not like wake up a few times and, kind of move around a bit, but yeah, I feel okay sleep-wise. Got some, time with the dog in this morning, which was nice. Be outside in the
Shouldn't
sunlight.
call your girlfriend that, man.
Until she does something truly extraordinary. You're on this rung of the ladder. I got to, start the day in the outdoors and then, pull a few things together to get ready for this and then, bop over here, set things up, saw Andrew for a brief second. It's been a pretty good start to the day.
It's a good start to the day.
I'm feeling a little bit of pressure just to live up to Koi.
Genuinely? Is that what you're feeling?
It's a movie news, segment, so you want to feel like you brought in, like, your big brain today.
What do you think I read the entire Salvation comic last night?
So I don't have to do a damn thing today.
No, not that. It's. I understand that pressure that you're talking about because he is the walking encyclopedia of comics. Yeah. So if there's something that I can be here as more of the casual comic. Like I read weekly, but I'm not Mr. Religious. I read 70 comics a day or whatever the hell metric Koi has in mind for himself. Yeah. And the pressure can be on. And so the most we can just do is be very honest about how we're thinking and feeling. Yeah. But I did read the entire Salvation comic run last night.
Hell yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
So you don't need to fix it.
Fix it? What do you mean fix it?
When I was looking at it on online, I found a couple YouTube videos called like "Fixing the Salvation Run."
It's a bit rushed and maybe lacks some depth, and it kind of ends a little abruptly. But I don't really know what I think. I think it's canon. To me, I sort of just since I just dove right into it, I sort of just viewed it like when you watch an extended episode of What If.
Yeah.
That's how it sort of felt to me.
Sure.
So let's go into it. Now, I'm curious to know what you guys thought about the Peacemaker Season 2 finale. If you guys can leave I command you to leave.
You will leave your thoughts.
Yeah. Leave your thoughts in chat amongst yourselves. And let's ask this. What did you guys rate it out of 10? I really want to know what our specific viewers who come here every week thought about the finale.
Absolutely.
Because I'm seeing a lot of divisiveness on every social media platform. It's pretty much like what I was feeling very strongly about with episode 7 is now rippled all over through episode 8.
Uh-oh. Mid-maker, says Brian Sillett.
Yeah, people really... But I was more... It was strange because when I was looking online, I was seeing a lot of people actually disappointed because of the amount of hype that it got. Like how we were making fun of the whole cameo tease. And in the vast majority, like we didn't even really touch it on our 40-minute discussion. We didn't even talk about why why this episode was why the season was disappointing. Yeah. Or not I would say disappointing for me. I think there's disappointments. Why there was more disappointments that I would have liked or less impact than I would have liked. It didn't come down to cameos at all. It came down to just storytelling.
Oh, I don't actually care about that stuff, honestly. Like, it's fun, but like it's more about, is the show nailing it? And I know that everyone here has the full capability to nail it, and that's, I think, how I would describe any issue I have with the season. It all comes down to that. Like, there's so much good stuff here. There's so many great ideas. And somebody in the chat here just said, what was the comment? It was like, oh, damn, I lost it. Either way, it's that, it feels a little bit all over the place and disjointed from itself. And there's so much beautiful work that I don't get to like fully absorb the impact of because of how everything is sort of oddly distributed. And it's weird because like I know how vigorous and excited James Gunn is about his projects and about writing and stuff like that. But this is like a really polished thing that feels like it was made kind of haphazardly, or like, I don't know why. This is just a vibe I get. It feels like there was a bunch going on and also this.
Yeah.
And it looks really good and it feels like it should be smoother because it's presented in a smooth packaging. But
life isn't smooth,
John. But life's not smooth. And this feels like an earlier draft of something that a few drafts later it could be amazing, you know.
There's a couple people here who did express this to me, similar sentiments in private. It's not like it's a super controversial thing to say, but just because they didn't say it publicly, I don't want to say who said these things. They brought up how James Gunn had been publicly citing that, you know, he wrote over 600 pages or something like that in the course of a year, from Creature Commandos to Superman to Peacemaker Season 2. Out of the three, I would put Creature Commandos as my top favorite. Superman as my second, and Peacemaker Season 2 as my third.
I gotta watch that Creature Commandos.
And that's not popular. That's not a popular take, honestly.
People in the chat are saying G.I. Robot should have been the finale.
G.I. Robot would have been a great finale
in the show.
He would have been great, especially for the Nazi element. Especially for the Nazis.
Gotta get more Nazis.
But they were saying how like it did that idea of like writing so much and maybe not having as much time to do the rewrites and the other drafts seemed to kind of present itself more in Peacemaker Season 2. And I thought about it because when you're doing an animated show, there's no room for willy-nilly improvisational takes where you could do a post-credit scene of a bunch of actors fucking around. You have to be very precise when you are making an animated show. So you need crisp ass writing.
Yeah,
because
you can't just change what a bunch of people have, at least frame by frame, manipulated. Yeah, like as easily.
Yes,
you can't just go back and reshoot that if you have a whim.
And Superman, similar with some limitations. It's got to be PG-13, and you're dealing with a bigger budget, so there's less room for let's fuck around. Peacemaker Season 2 is a little bit more where you can kind of do that. Maybe having that free. It seems like there was a lot kind of done in the editing room for Peacemaker Season 2. That's like that with every project, but I think this one kind of showed that a little bit more than others. I don't want to make this a crap on Peacemaker Season 2 thing.
There's
it's
so
more
much
just
great
an exploration of what kind of the. This was hyped like a mother effer, wasn't it? Like it was so hyped.
Yeah.
And James Gunn was really hyping it as the greatest fucking thing he's done, you know?
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's another thing I'm trying to factor in too, was the behind the scenes marketing overhyping it? Like, what if you were just the average people who are not plugged into what the director is saying and all this stuff? Like I was bringing this up with Film Speak when I did his show. That there are times where I feel like we're getting too much of James Gunn, that we're being too aware of the person who's making this stuff, and we're being too aware of everything that they're doing and thinking, then we're aware of them too much when we're watching their stuff, and less the project itself. When we should just take the project in and of itself, you know?
Yeah. I think it's weird. I think there's a really good argument for that. I think it's interesting because it's the most unique, I think, version of this we've experienced so far. Like a filmmaker who's like super candid and is very plugged in and both understands just how the world of the young people works, but also is just willing to be out here and be like, no, that theory's not true, or like, we did this approach for this. Like on some level, I think that's actually kind of the best way to show that you're kind of in tune with your audience and stuff.
Sure.
At the same time, like I know that we've gone through so many discussions over time of like, the special features and the trades, and like we know so much about how this shit is made and it's poisoned our minds and how we watch stuff. And so I think there's also an argument for pulling back off of that. I think we should in my ideal world, James Gunn would be around and talking on things periodically and then he would like disappear for a little while and like go quiet, kind of like how album cycles work, where it's like, someone's got a new thing coming out, so like, okay, they're talking about it and they're expounding and they're getting personal and doing a track by track breakdown, and then when it comes time to move on and start developing the next thing, then we don't hear from them for a while and we get to miss them, and then when they show back up, you're like, oh hey, there you are, cool.
Yeah.
Whereas like if he's always around, but then I don't know, the DCU is going to be a perpetual thing. It's an interesting like sociological movie experiment, I think.
It's very interesting. Like you bring up really good points, because we're in that weird age with actors too, where they need like social media followings, and we need to feel like we know them now.
Yeah, we're buds.
And they're all on podcasts now. And now we have a CEO, main writer, director of an entire cinematic universe who is now that equivalent for what a lot of actors are. He's on like podcasts all the time.
Well, they have their own podcast now.
And they have their own podcast. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's a hard worker and he's very talented. I love the hell out of Superman. But I'm already starting to, I think one thing to be mindful of is like, when are we getting a little too much of someone though? You know?
Yeah.
It's easy to get sick of an actor. We can also get sick of a director.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
And I think it's to James Gunn's credit and favor that he understands that these things need to be slightly different of tone. So Superman, part of the fun of Peacemaker and Superman has been like, oh, we can do stuff with those characters on Peacemaker that we can't do in Superman. And so like he has a varied enough appreciation for the different age ranges that comics can operate in and the different tones. So like that's good, but I do think that it's weird. Like, I don't think he would be here doing as much as he is if he wasn't enthused about it. He seems just like a very enthusiastic creator, and that's good. And that still, I think, very much shows in all the work I've seen recently. But I think it is maybe just a matter of like, I think it might be harmonious for everyone if he pumps the brakes a little bit and just like replenishes some of his more structural instincts. And also then we are, not always talking about James Gunn like that,
Isn't that weird? Like we talk probably more about James Gunn than we do about the DC universe.
Yeah, well,
that's strange.
It is.
It's like he's so hand in hand with it.
Yeah, and I think partly that's because he feels like one of, not to be presumptuous for us in this room specifically, but he's one of those guys who feels like one of us, even more than like a Zack Snyder. Like Zack Snyder's like a jacked, gym dude in his appearance, though he is very enthusiastic. But like James Gunn feels like a guy at the comic book shop who now has the keys to the kingdom, and so like he's fun to have around. It's weird. I'm not like, go away, Pedro Pascal. I don't feel that way, but I'm not like, go away, man. But also, I can't help but think people in the chat have been saying like just a bit spread thin, and even though you are very enthusiastic amid that spreading, like, maybe you shouldn't be spread as thin as you are. And two, not to mention the projects that he's involved with that we aren't seeing right now, that he's not writing and directing, but is heavily involved in the development of.
Yeah. I can imagine it's hard to take a break.
Yeah, because like, how could you ever?
Yeah, there's always so much more work to be done.
Yeah.
He's got to look at all these scripts too, beyond the ones he's actively working on that he will be directing.
Yeah.
I get anxiety. I get an actual like anxiety reaction in my heart.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that workload. It actually pops up in me more than when I think about like Kevin Hart or The Rock. Maybe because I can relate more with the idea of having to run multiple projects at once. Whereas I feel like The Rock and Kevin Hart have a lot of people. They got to be like, there's a lot of decision making, but they got a lot of more creative people around them. And their most creative part comes in the form of acting, which usually requires a singular focus when on set. And they might have to like take some. I don't really know what their fucking world. I'm assuming what their billionaire lifestyle is like, but I have no clue what it's like.
I'm sure there's a certain amount of admin of just like either answering emails and calls or delegating tasks to people, and then it's like it's a singular goal. Even if you have multiple streams of revenue, you're all building the Kevin Hart or the Rock brand, whereas James Gunn, you're not building the James Gunn brand. You're carrying this, monolith on your back of, something that is beyond. It's not, I think the difference is that it's not just up to him and his personality living or dying by itself. It's like, it's the combination of his personality with this beloved canon of stories and characters that he has to do justice to, as well as be creative with. And that's, a bigger. It's not like you don't have to do that when you're The Rock, because then people's idea of you is something that you have to live up to also. But it's a whole different story when you have this giant machine that you have to like satisfy people with and your creative self with.
Yeah. Like because it requires such an intense level of focus the focus is the part that I get the most anxiety about. And that's the part where I feel like I try to relate to on that. Like it's been a lot of hours here lately. Like I left here at 11:30 knowing I had more to do at home when I got back home. And I ate some dinner, and then I was like, okay, because we had the stream, I should probably read this Salvation comic book.
I should probably watch Terminator Salvation.
I should probably watch Terminator Salvation, and it's not as good still.
Yeah. But I'm so much potential.
But I'm reading. I kept having to restart it because my brain is still so like from everything else going on and the different plugging around is going on that I can't even focus.
You have to reread the page a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a comic. It's a comic. There's pictures. Like it shouldn't be this hard for me. Yeah. But it's so late at night, and I'm like, how does James Gunn freaking do this? How does he hop around and zigzag and answer to all these things, and then now I got to read the Batman too. Like how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, and that's a thing. It's like it's the best kind of homework to do, but it's also like a kind of homework, and it's like your brain needs a moment because absorbing is fun. It's that weird thing of absorbing can be fun. There can also be like real world incentives to absorb, but also your brain can only physically absorb so much at a time.
Yes,
before it starts to.
And there's also the intensified pressure of needing to succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
movie news is hard.
I feel like he should have done a better job with Peacemaker season 2.
It's fascinating to me because I feel like the thing is I do want to. And it's not important. Like nobody cares, but like I want for my own spirit to be like, hey, tremendous work across so many of the boards. Mm-hmm. So like, and that's continually the thing that's the gripe about season 2. I'm just like, there's so much great here, and this could be great as a whole,
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of marvelous that like, wow, if this is what you look like if you're spread thin, or maybe this is just exactly how we wanted it to be, and I don't get it. But like, if you are in need of a break or a recharge, like, damn, I wish my fatigued, burnt out work looked as good as this and was as emotionally resonant in parts as this.
Yeah.
As he seems like a guy who probably could do a lot of things in his sleep like pretty all right if he had to.
Well, I listened to him on the Dak Shepard podcast where he was very open about his history of drug abuse and alcoholism.
Oh, wow.
And he had to go to rehab and everything. So he's been sober for a very, very long time. So he's got an addictive personality, and he has definitely thrown that into his work. So I feel like that's where the hyper focus probably comes from.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's why I understand it. Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, I mean, I'm glad that he's psyched about comics and not about heroin or something.
Well, now that we've gotten that ambiguous Peacemaker season 2 thought process and James Gunn work ethic out of the way,
Salvation.
Let's talk about Salvation. So in the Salvation comics, John, do you have a photo just so we could show people a photo?
Give me a second. I'll get that on screen. The cover, right?
Just go with it. Yeah, I don't really give a shit. Just whatever you want to do, man.
Cool.
Just keep the single on me the entire time while you're doing this.
Yeah. Oh, good. There we go.
When we were in my home and the live stream camera was just singular, it was easy to just go up to the camera.
Oh, I do miss that. I do miss being able to do that. That was a very fun thing to get to do.
The bit that never gets old.
Never.
Okay, so this Salvation comic book, at the end of Peacemaker Season 2, Rick Flag has this Rush character development arc where he is super bad all of a sudden. Yes. He is incredibly... Because Rick Flag... He asked Lex for a favor, then all of a sudden he's like, I am ideologically aligned with Lex Luthor. And I'm like, what? Where'd this come from? Why are you so aligned? I get that's what's supposed to happen in the comics, but when in the show did this occur? I just saw a whole season of you hanging out with a bunch of metahumans and saving the day.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Your son works with the Suicide Squad twice.
Your number one chick is a friggin' meta.
Yeah. Sol Gonzalez's character, Sasha Bardot, is a meta. And this season ends with Chris being stranded on the planet that they named Salvation, which they tease has monsters living amongst them.
Oh, no.
Pretty crazy stuff, right, Sean?
Sounds pretty. It looked very Predator at the end.
Yeah,
and what I know,
Predator Badlands,
and what I know about this run, which is surely not as much as you know about this run now, but it sounds like a thing that would lend itself to being kind of predatory at some point.
I actually thought of Alien versus Predator when I got later into the run.
Oh, fun!
Because for a quick understanding of this comic. There's a lot of details. I won't go into the hyper extensive details. There's going to be definitely some spoilers about the comic. I won't give away exactly how it ends, though.
Okay.
In this, Rick Flag and Amanda Waller both are ideologically aligned that metahumans are a big problem and they should all be banished. So they are working together. They're not like how they are in the current DC universe where there's a divide with them. They're working together. They create this boom tube thing to take them to the planet, and they just start dumping a shit ton of villains there.
Okay.
The main two villains becomes a bit of a Lord of the Flies kind of situation. I've never read Lord of the Flies, but whenever I hear about Lord of the Flies, this is what it sounds like to me.
You know, it's a society forming in a vacuum on its own in an isolated place.
Yeah, and tribalisms are happening.
Yeah,
and it becomes very savage.
Yeah.
And there's two camps that form. One is led by Lex Luthor, who's very much about, control, order. He's trying to build a way to get out of here. And then you got a chaotic one, Joker. So it's really like Joker, Lex, both leading these groups. And Joker's just more like, we're just going to stay here and inhabit and everything. While Lex is constantly trying to figure out a way out. So it's about alliances forming and you're watching their minds deteriorate more. So I don't feel like it's really going to go there, but it really stood out to me that Lex is the main character of this run, this Salvation run. Lex is.
Okay. Man of Tomorrow.
So I started thinking, because Man of Tomorrow seems like it's heavily set up Brainiac. Now, the big reveal that they do, and this is where I thought of Alien versus Predator. The big reveal that does come down is that we find out that this planet, similar to Alien versus Predator, you know how they create in the movie, the Predators create the xenomorphs just for a hunting ground so the Predators can be stronger and shit.
Go level up.
So Apocalypse and Desaad, the Apocalypse planet, Desaad, one of Darkseid's main people, they cut to them. The planet of salvation.
Desaad.
The planet of Desaad. Not enough screen time in Zack Snyder's movie.
People know his name now.
They create a planet that is meant to strengthen the parademons. So that way they fight creatures. There's creatures there that are there who kind of anticipate the return of parademons. They wanted the humans to rise to their ultimate, brutality, strength. That way they can go there and fight and attack. And this is all. It's pretty much just a giant training ground to embolden the parademons to make them the best army they can be.
Fun.
And who does this all serve? Darkseid. This is all serving for Darkseid. And apparently this comic is supposed to lead into something more with, I forget what event in DC it leads into. But yeah, it's got a cool
Christmas.
I think it goes in Christmas. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a bit rushed towards the end, but there's a lot of ingredients there that I thought they cooked with very, very well.
It sounds like a really cool What If event.
Definitely, but I believe it is an actual canon event.
Well, I guess it sounds like a really cool miniseries, like something like this is structurally way different. We're pulling in a bunch of characters to a unique scenario, but it's not necessarily like an interdimensional reset. It's this bottle thing.
Yeah, and James Gunn has been saying that he's not going to adapt the Salvation Run storyline directly.
Sure, that tracks.
I heard somewhere that the Joker versus Lex Luthor stuff is not included, so I'd be surprised if they did a Joker thing. But that doesn't mean Lex won't be there.
I feel like he's got to be there.
And this is somehow setting up the future of it going into. I'm looking up for the exact thing here. It is setting up the future of actually going into Man of Tomorrow, and the group Checkmate in the comics is very different. I didn't read any of Checkmate, so I was researching it. Checkmate is originally formed by Amanda Waller. It's kind of like an offshoot of Task Force X. Someone likened it to think like S.H.I.E.L.D. in a way.
Sure.
But James Gunn said it was always his plan to have Amanda Waller's daughter create it, but for good.
That's really cool.
So
I like that a lot.
Yeah, there is a different thing that they do there. But anyway, when you're introducing Salvation, at first when I thought about it, I went, it might be a little far-fetched for James Gunn to start going into Darkseid after all this stuff with him wanting to distance himself from the Zack Snyder stuff. Kind of. You know, it seemed like at first they were trying to put up a thing of, we're good, we're buddies. But I think if you bring in Darkseid, it's just going to piss off people, right? Like, what did it just...
Darkseid, then Zod.
yeah. Just go in the weird order.
Yeah.
Because the Man of Tomorrow's Brainiac, who's going to be the bigger villain. This is a chapter called Gods and Monsters. And when you talk about gods and monsters, I love the idea of using Salvation as a stepping ground for that, because there's not heroes who are banished there in the comic. In the comic, they're saying metahumans, but it's primarily I don't know if there's any heroes actually. I think it's all villains that they check in with. I'm trying to think if there's
that would make sense. Yeah. It's a better plan.
Yes.
Keep all the good guys on Earth.
Yeah.
Because why not?
And a little plot twist is that Martian Manhunter is there in disguise, and he's trying to communicate with Batman.
Cool.
But Batman never shows up in it. So I'm like,
like, your villains are winning. The cooler rogues gallery.
He's like, Bane's here, Two-Face is here, Catwoman's here.
People like our side more.
Because they banish more than just like Lex isn't a metahuman. He's just a super genius.
Yeah.
Joker's not a metahuman. He's just a crazy guy.
Yeah.
But they banish them there. But with the story that they've been setting up here, I'm trying to see what James Gunn's bigger picture is here, that the metahumans are essentially all being treated like mutants of how mutants are in the X-Men world.
X-Men from Marvel Comics.
And from Marvel Comics, yes.
Which are canon to the DC universe now.
So Superman that's a big part of that storyline. They have a villain who like hates metahumans, considers him to be the god amongst them all. I started wondering what if, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who had this thought. I'm sure other people have this thought too. What if there's a twist reveal here that Rick betrays Lex and banishes Lex to here as well? Because Lex has proven himself to be a major... He's at the end of the day, if Rick Flag's philosophy is these people are a danger to our world, Lex is an extreme danger. Lex has created Rift that almost destroyed the world.
Yeah.
So that's why this whole fucking character shift, where it's like, because James Gunn is saying they have an alliance, but the alliance, at least storytelling wise, doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
You could have had such a great mirror thread with Rick Flag coming over to Lex's side, becoming hyper prejudiced against metahumans somehow on our Earth 1 timeline, and had that, descent complement Earth X in a way, like, leading to this despicable plan to round them all up and to throw them into some intergalactic camp,
Yeah.
Like, the theme is right there, and I feel like if they had fleshed that out, if they had, like, finessed that, you could have had a nice thematic tie around and a tragic turn for a guy who at the beginning of the season seems a little more reasonable than you might have expected in this situation. Mm-hmm. And then when he ends up there, it's just a little, I don't know, it feels like we're just missing a middle beat. It feels like we went from that one season to that next season, and we missed a small season in between.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, freaking, Bordeaux gets a whole bunch of shit done for you. Like, is clearly an asset to you, and you're clearly entangled with her on a personal level, like... And all of a sudden, I don't know. Just seems like there are personal things that would be interesting to explore there.
Seems like Rick Flag is becoming the villain he never wanted to be.
Yeah, which is interesting. I like the idea.
If they explore it properly. There's something interesting to be done there. There is.
Yeah. I need to watch Creature Commandos because, too, like, he just comes across villainous from the get. From just, like, other than the sympathy of, like, his son died, and I liked Rick Flag Jr. a lot. He does just kind of read as like, oh, this guy's a bad guy. He's going to be a bad guy.
They do not seem like the same character.
Really?
It really bugs me, honestly. Especially because he's the fucking main character in Creature Commandos. So,
That's
I
what
mean, people would argue it's
yeah.
like the bride, but he's definitely like the kickoff point. It's Rick Flag.
Yeah.
And it is not the same character, nor does his experience with them factor in at all to who he is now. It's not even mentioned as a thing. Like they mentioned that going to whatever that city was. I think at one point they mentioned it when he's talking about Harcourt in one of the earlier episodes. Yeah. But it's not really a characterization. But if you watch that whole season, it's like, no, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole journey this guy has.
That's always the impression I've gotten, and Creature Commandos from the outside hearing about it seemed like a show where people were like, "Oh, this is like a surprising amount of depth for like a wacky, pulp cartoon," and that's I feel like kind of what you want from Peacemaker too, is a surprising amount of depth from a wacky pulp cartoon that's live action.
Yeah,
and I don't know, like hearing that about it makes me more interested in all of this, which is good, and Rick as a character, which is good.
Well, going back to Salvation, if we can, what if they banish what if they do actually follow through with the plan? They succeed, and Superman and Lex are banished together. So instead of Lex and what if the Man of Tomorrow, the breaking down of the philosophy and the ideology, is not Joker and Lex? What if it's Lex and Superman?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And I feel like that would tie in very much with a very popular comic, Kingdom Come, which I read earlier this year. Hey. And that takes place more in the future, where metahumans are kind of they're a little out of control with the way they enforce. And Superman comes out and he's like, we have to be better than what we're at now, and it creates a lot of problems and conflict because it's very much in contrast with the way the new metahumans are. That's why when they were talking about the metahumans, I was like, "Oh, you're creating like a Kingdom Come situation." That's where I think I said that when we were reacting to it.
Yeah,
where I felt like it might go to that. So I think there's like a philosophical thing to be done there. If all the metahumans are there, Superman's there, and he's mainly banished for like a bunch of terrible villains,
Yeah.
And what is the path moving forward? I know the script does have the Brainiac thing in there, and I feel like the easy script is is a very cliche version of Man of Tomorrow. Lex is someone important now. Clearly, he's working with the government and controls them in some faction. And Superman and Lex now have to work together to save Earth against a bigger threat. That'd be cool. I want to see Brainiac. I think Brainiac would be an amazing villain for them to go up against.
100%.
Thematically makes a lot of sense. The hyper superior artificial intelligence intellect, who's also a big physical threat for Superman. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going like, how would you factor in Brainiac then? If he is in Man of Tomorrow, if they're at this, because he's saying that Salvation does tie into Man of Tomorrow somehow, but I don't really know what that would be. And if you are going to honor Salvation to its actual core, because James Gunn does talk a lot about we have to honor the core of things, and Salvation, the whole planet, is rooted in the parademons, and we do need a bigger bad. I don't know if we need one, but a bigger bad.
Always bigger. Always badder.
Darkseid would be the ultimate bad, and then we would. It wouldn't make Snyder fans happy, but it would actually fulfill the thing, which is a big part of comics. And even when it comes to the DC animated movies that you watched, some of the biggest ones were Justice League having a verse Darkseid. So, and we still have not got, at the end of the day, we have not gotten that. So we still could be getting the Darkseid, the Justice League buildup to it, and Gods and Monsters, like what are metahumans' place in this world, and what defines a hero, and what defines a villain, and what do you do with power? There's a lot of consistent themes that keep coming in here. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if actually, oh shit, we are building up to Darkseid again. And just James Gunn's going to pull it off and hopefully ignore the voices of people being like, Snyder should have done it. I mean, do you think Darkseid will come in, basically? Do you believe that could be a possibility after everything we've been discussing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the possibility, it has to happen, and the matter is just James Gunn being able to hold on to the reins long enough to get there. Like, it seems, because, we have had these experiences with the animated movies, and because Darkseid seems like a character who comes around periodically for a big event, for some kind of big, sinister, master plan, showdown, etc., I mean, yeah, it seems like it is inevitable, and it seems like the kind of thing that could, if handled properly, earn James Gunn some credit among the Snyder fans. And I don't know. It just seems like it has to happen, and the matter is more how they orchestrate doing it. And the DCU, as I see it right now, is in kind of an interesting place because, we have some degree of a roadmap. Clearly, James Gunn is open about when that changes, and we do have, we got Superman. Peacemaker has happened if you want to count the shows in this, and then we'll have Supergirl, and then it seems like we'll have some offshoots and we'll have some team things. And so the big question mark to me more is will they be able to bring a character as monumental as Darkseid to the DCU in a way that feels timed properly? Will this event feel like it is, properly timed out, and is something like Salvation's purpose partly going to be showcasing a bunch of the rogues so that people know who they are, and then, beyond the main ones, and then also setting up, Darkseid for a more future head-on confrontation. Like, I can see that working, and I can see that being pretty cool. And yeah, it's all about the finesse, and I'm like, the schedule that they have, at least on paper or on record right now, is interesting to me just because, like, I don't know. It's unlike what I'm used to seeing. It's not just a bunch of solo films and then a team up, and it's not just like one solo film and then a bunch of team ups. It's sort of like in between those things. So I'm just having fun watching them take some swings and try some stuff.
Yeah.
But to your question, Darkseid's got to come in, I would imagine, sooner than later. And I think part of the trial for DCU will be, when do we play the hits, and when do we bring in, new stuff? So Brainiac coming, new stuff, and people are excited about that, and it's on the horizon. But also Darkseid, like, that's a hit, and you got to play it.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if Darkseid doesn't come in for like another 5 to 10 years.
100%. No, totally.
But how cool would it be if they do Tease Desaad and Parademons on Salvation? They could still do that. See, the thing is, I can totally see a version where he just did it with Earth X. Earth X is nothing, really. It's just fucking like Ohio or something.
Looks a lot like Ohio, honestly.
I don't really know where it's at.
Shouts out.
I forget where they are in the Peacemaker show. And it's not really a world that we explore. It's just a fact about this other multiversal side, and there's some backdrop stuff. But we don't.
Washington.
But we're not doing the whole. Okay, it's in Washington. But we're not doing the whole Earth X storyline.
Yeah. We're just acknowledging it exists.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like it would be perfect to just
back there.
If we just did it. Yeah, we could go back there. That's another thing where I feel like thematically the show dropped, because I thought like, that's why they did Earth X, because it's thematically tying in with what they want to do with the metahumans and stuff, and the prejudices of that. Like, we fear this thing that is strong, and so we're going to. Yeah, I understand, but they didn't really do anything with that. But yeah, I think you could. I think it would be really cool if you did actually. You don't even have to say the name Darkseid. You don't have to say Apocalypse. You don't have to show Desaad. Yeah. Just have some Parademon show up.
Yeah,
and
they could just gotta happen on Salvation.
They could just be monsters that happen. Yeah, and it would be something really fucking cool, of a great way to start teasing the build up, because I know we got like a shit ton of other movies to get through before we go to that ultimate team up thing. What I will say, what I love about how we're seeing James Gunn set up the universe, is that each one of these tie-ins is linked to not just plot point device, but character motivation. Superman ends with Lex Luthor with a very big drive of hatred towards metahumans.
Yeah.
Then he comes back in to Peacemaker with Rick Flag in there and Lex, and their motivations, their personal motivations align, which allow Lex to get more of this freedom, and then it leads to them opening up these multiversal doors and shit, which then leads to Peacemaker to be banished to this next setup of Salvation, and Salvation opens up the door for the bigger picture of the metahumans being at odds with humanity and what that conversation is going to be. So there are like cool domino effects that are more than just what are Easter eggs linking to Darkseid coming, you know? Like it's cool in the way they're doing it, how there's a ripple effect from one door to the next of character motivations that lead to these consequences and the things falling over.
Yeah, I mean, I like that the progression of the universe does feel tangibly character motivated, not just solely physical conflict motivated. Seems like I can kind of see.
Yeah, there's barely any action.
Well, Peacemaker, yeah. Which again, which on paper, I love that. Like, cool. Let's do a completely emotional deep dive on this wacky comic book shit. I love stuff like that. I think if they can master a sense of time, like that would be really cool, and I think that's a really hard thing to do right now because Marvel has shown us the kind of hazards that can be when you announce a bunch of stuff and a roadmap, and you then feel like you have to stick to that. And I like, as I said, that James Gunn's roadmap is adjustable. But if they could, plant some stuff in a little bit more than just like a cheeky, like, oh, hey, Easter egg. Like, if they could meaningfully plant some things that people who are in the know will get, and let them gestate for 5 to 10 years and culminate, that would be friggin' sick. Like, if they could do that, I think that's awesome. I think we're in a moment with blockbuster movies in general and comic book franchises in general where we're kind of not certain enough of things to swing that far ahead and commit to that. Hence the greater propensity now for like MCU post-credit scenes that turn into nothing. So like if James Gunn and company could harness that and set up a Darkseid that way and really show you across these moments in time that no, this is a part of it, it's coming, we're not forgetting about this, but it's not what we need to do right now. Like that could be really fun because then it'll get you excited about the future in a way that's different than watching a commercial at the end of this movie. Or something like that. And I hope as they continue figuring out how to make these shows and these movies vitally tie in with each other that they will do more stuff that's like, oh, like you said, watching Earth X Arise on Peacemaker, you're like, oh, cool, because I could see how this will be even bigger, and how this will have ramifications across whatever. And then the way they handle it doesn't suggest that that's the case, and it's odd.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of worried about with Salvation, honestly.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be a planet with some cool stuff, and we'll just get some like dick jokes and whatever, and then we're gone?
Well, the question to me becomes, is this leading into like a Salvation miniseries? Is this leading into a Salvation movie? Is this leading to a potential Peacemaker season 3? Because the answer to that question changes what I imagine for it's like if this is the setup for Peacemaker season 3, my cynical brain is like, well, maybe within the first 2 episodes they'll find a way to get him out of here. And it's not going to be a big deal. Like, right, if it's like a Salvation miniseries, like sick, like something that then is going like, okay, so you have Peacemaker as sort of your anchor to segue us into this and to help jump more people who know that but don't know the deeper cuts in. Then cool, but if it's clear that this isn't just Peacemaker season 3, this is a mini series of its own, I think that could be a really fun thing to do, and something that could bridge a gap between the series and movies conundrum. Like if a mini series is kind of like a longer movie, and yes, like an ongoing series is in ways too, but I think the pressure of ongoing series can sometimes be a bit much and can complicate things sometimes. And in a case like this, knowing what the source material is, a miniseries, like that would be ideal to me. To do this miniseries, get a bunch of rogues in there. You can kind of revisit some of what worked with Suicide Squad in terms of dynamics, but then also introduce some new folks and set up whatever Lex's journey is for the future. It seems like a very functional, but also seems like it's going to put the fun in functional if that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, the Salvation lands like Skull Island.
Oh, fun. That's a good way to put that too.
Yeah, it's just better Badlands.
with more blood. Yeah, I'm sure.
What's the chat saying, man?
Oh man, chat's been popping off today, and I love it.
Have they?
Yeah, it's almost.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit more calm today because I know that it's difficult to monitor a chat while also having a fully engaged conversation.
Jovan Kendola, is this true that James Gunn tried to get a Deadpool cameo in this finale? I don't know.
He said he was trying to get Ryan Reynolds. I don't know what that was for though.
That would have been very funny. Multiversally speaking, that would have been very cool.
It would have been pretty funny.
That would have been a freaking moment if they had been able to do that. Some people are saying that we should bring back Jeff Johns. who understands and already knows the source material, yada yada yada.
Maybe. I mean, I've been saying that if they adapt Brainiac, they should do the Jeff Johns run. I think that would be the one with Supergirl and Superman fighting, and that one's that to me would be the ideal version to do.
Some people are, I don't know, man. It seems kind of up and down in here. Some people are not having a lot of faith that these bigger, cinematic apparatuses are able to grippingly kind of subsist and be interesting whilst also having to swing as wide as they have to.
Okay. Do we have some super chats? I want to make sure that we actually get to some of them today. Why don't we go to some of the super chats linked to this, and then we could choose some other stories to go through. Oh, we do?
Oh, yeah. I think, it seems like we've had at least pop in through the chat. I've been like,
Okay, cool.
Let's go. Where we got? Oh, yeah. We got a good handful today so far. And we're gonna kick it all off with a
that to me would be the ideal version.
I wish I had. The one thing that we can't do in this configuration is I don't have the soundboard. Or I don't know, man.
It's all good.
It seems kind of up and down
on ourselves.
In here.
Yeah.
Two eyes. Having a lot of faith
for the moment of silence.
that these bigger, cinematic
Aaron
apparatuses
Koval
are able to
have really been enjoying the
kind of
Friday
subsist
commentary.
and be interesting whilst also having to
those are
swing as wide as
exciting.
they have to.
But if you guys don't end up
Do we have
doing
some
one for
super
Matt
chats?
Reeves,
I
the
wanna make sure that we
Batman,
actually
I'm
get
going to
some of
crash
Why
out.
don't we go to some of the super
Are
chats?
you gonna
linked
do
to
one
this,
for
and
the
we could choose
Batman?
some other
Actually,
stories
I
to go through.
specifically
mapped. I'll give you a little behind the scenes. I
At least pop
specifically
it through
mapped
the
out
chat.
the
I'm like,
upload schedule. Okay,
People don't know how much math I put into this.
I specifically mapped it out where we would
We're
end
gonna kick it
because
all
Coy was
off.
leaving, and I was like, maybe we should just
with
push
the
that
Batman
Batman upload. Would be
uploads.
the ideal
And
version.
then
I was
the
like,
one
oh,
thing
wait,
that we
no.
can't do in this
But I had a
configuration is I
plan.
don't have the soundboard.
And the plan was
I don't know,
to
man.
upload
It
the
seems
Batman
kind of up and
relying
down
on ourselves.
in
The
two
movie
eyes.
start- well, the movie starts off on
that these
Halloween.
bigger,
Aaron Koval
have really been
we
enjoying
should end the
Friday
month off with the
commentary.
Batman.
As
As
much as I in this life am inclined to be
but if you guys
flexible,
don't end up
doing
doing one for Matt Reeves,
the Batman,
I'm going to crash out.
Are you
Perfect.
Actually, I specifically mapped. I'll give you a little behind the scenes. I
Get ready to
specifically
pop into
mapped
Watch
out.
Adams.
Those are really fun and a lot of work and something very different for us.
Similar
We mapped it out,
and I really appreciate that people have
because Coy was leaving, and I was like, maybe we should just push the Batman up
something more positive.
One thing
I'll
we
take
can't do
whatever.
is
But I
had a plan.
experimenting
Soundboard.
and the branching
I
out.
don't know, man.
It's all
It
good.
seems
Batman
kind of up and down
on commentary.
Two eyes.
Well, the movie starts off on
That these
Halloween.
bigger,
Aaron Koval
It fits perfect.
We should end the month
off with the Batman.
As much as I in this life am inclined to be
But if you guys don't end up
silhouetted
the Batman,
I'm going to crash out.
Actually, I specifically mapped. I'll give you a little behind the scenes. I specifically mapped out. Those are really fun and a lot of work and something very different for us. Similar, but we mapped it out. I do know that because Coy was leaving, and I was like, maybe we should just push the Batman. I know he was
more positive.
One thing we can't do.
whatever.
But
I had a plan. Experimenting and the branching out.
I don't know, man.
It's all good.
It's
Batman
kind of
and
leveling
on
commentary.
commentary.
Two eyes.
Well, the movie starts off on Halloween.
Bigger,
They said,
Aaron Koval.
It fits super perfect.
We should end the month off with the
Batman. As much as I in this life am inclined to be flexible,
silhouetted
the Batman,
I'm going to crash out.
Actually, I really cool. We do take I'll give you a little behind. It's like it's kind of thinking mapped out. Those are really fun and a lot of work. Consider that if you work on the Mr. Miracle show, it's similar, but we mapped it out. I do know that because Coy was leaving, and I was like, maybe we should series. I know he was free.
One thing we can't do.
But I had a plan. Experimenting and the branching out.
I don't know, man. It's like a big part of all commentary.
Two eyes. Well, the movie starts off on Halloween. Bigger, they said.
Aaron Koval.
It fits super perfect.
We should
end the month off with the Batman.
As much as I in this life am inclined to be flexible,
silhouetted
the Batman,
I'm going to crash out.
Actually, we do take DCU. Those are really fun and a lot of work. main artist that did work on Mr. Miracle. Similar but
Loves
I do know that his boy was leaving, and I was like, maybe series. I know he was free.
One thing, yes,
Whatever. I had a experiment. Branching out.
your wife thinks
Commentary.
Blue eyes.
Movie starts off on the show.
Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the
Actually,
Evan Tabone, our potential. Thank you for watching. RA, thank you so much.
Similar about
Loves
I do know that his boy was leaving, and I was like, maybe
What would
I know he was free.
one thing, yes,
Whatever. I had a experiment. Branching out.
your wife thinks
Commentary.
Movie starts off on the show. Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the
Actually,
Evan Tabone, our potential. RA, thank you so much.
I do know that his boy was leaving, and it's like big franchise. What would I know he was free.
One thing, yes,
I had a experiment franchise branching out.
your wife thinks
It could be like a movie starts off on that
Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the
Actually,
Evan Tabone, our potential. RA, thank
I know his boy was leaving, and it's like big franchise. What would I know he was free. I had a experiment franchise branching out. It could be like a movie starts off on that
Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the Evan Tabone, our potential.
I know his boy was leaving, and it's like big franchise. What would I know he was free. Experiment franchise branching out.
It makes my hearing
Movie starts off on that
Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the Evan Tabone, our potential. So I'm not really excited.
I know his boy was leaving, and it's like big franchise. What would I know he was free. Experiment franchise branching out. Movie starts off on that
Aaron Kovacs.
Super
Really guided us.
It in the month with the back.
As much as I life, while the second silhouetted the Batman, I'm going to crash out. Facing the Evan Tabone, our potential. So I'm not really excited.
I know his boy was leaving, How good of a job you did.
This is excellent. We needed a moment of silence.
We
right
needed a
now.
moment of silence.
This is good, actually. This is the perfect scenario for us. It's like, this is going really smooth. Well done. And,
Is it as simple as a plug in, plug out?
tell me how it is now. Tell me how it is now. Because we might.
Oh, it started happening like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, cool. That's better than the whole time.
I even got a message from even Movie Man Mark.
Movie Man Mark.
Movie Man Mark messaged
Looking
me,
out for the health of the
say,
stream.
check the audio on your stream. It sounds like the multiverse was ripped open.
Oh, I'm so excited. Here, we're going to go back and we're going to listen to it live.
Let's listen to this. Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Hey, we got the main story done.
We did.
We got the
We
so we
did.
can afford a technical glitch.
This
right
is
now.
charm. This is in the realm of charming. I'm willing to accept
yeah,
the
fuck it.
charming nature.
Let's hear it back.
All right,
yeah.
here we go.
Oh man.
All right.
Okay, so it's normal now.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it's normal now. It's just
Okay, so
very funny.
when did that occur?
I think it must have been when we opened the super chats.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing that. Yeah. Yeah.
It happened right when we started doing the super chats.
Opening the super chat window must have had some kind of. It's a display. It's capturing the display, and it must be carrying sound from one of these other windows that I'm not capturing.
Oh, okay, weird.
Thank you guys. I'm sorry. That's the tricky. That's okay. That's the.
And this stream is lagging now. Is that what's happening?
Oh no! Oh no! We're hardwired, man, and I turned the VPN off. We should be smooth as butter.
We are going to fix this. Don't worry.
Oh my god! This is amazing.
Okay, this is happened like 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
No. Well, here's what we'll do.
We'll
we
do a
will
speed round.
We'll go back and we'll redo it.
All right.
We could redo it.
We have the technology.
We will cut it out in post.
I'm
but
gonna
we'll redo
download
it.
the full version and then cut it out.
We'll redo it. Okay.
Thank you. Shouts out to Olivia for looking out.
Thanks, Olivia, my baby, for calling. She's obsessed with me. Absolutely obsessed.
Why
She's in the
you
chat
so
right now.
obsessed with
She's
me?
super obsessed with me.
Dude, she's killing it. She's looking out for the chat, all right? She's looking out for
Okay.
everyone here.
Let's do this properly. I'm going to pay attention to the chat.
I love
Okay.
what I wish is I wish we could have a giant chat window like just over there so that we could like always see it when we want to.
That's why I wanted another person in here today to help monitor that, because I get
That's the one
I can't,
thing.
I get overwhelmed if I'm looking at the chat and trying to have a conversation at the same time.
That's the hard part, and yeah, I'm like, if we just had one, we have two screens for those of you watching, playing along at home. We have two screens right now, and if I could have just like a third screen that just has the chat in this position, then that'll help. So I'll make a note of that for later, and we will, hop right back into these chats. Love you guys. Thank you for all the love. Don't cut it out. Maybe we'll think about leaving
Let's
it.
do this really quick again.
All right, Two Eyes. Thank you so much for the momento di silenzio. Appreciate you very much. Aaron Koval. Here we go. Have really been enjoying the Friday commentaries, but if you guys don't end up doing one for Matt Reeves' The Batman, I'm going to crash out.
Thank you for following us. We will be doing it. And I was explaining earlier how
You worked it out in the schedule.
I worked it on the upload schedule specifically so that way the Batman would upload, our video of the Batman would upload on Halloween alongside another Halloween video. Really calculate this stuff more than people realize.
Yeah, you did.
And sometimes it really doesn't pan out. Other times it does. Because the Batman opens on Halloween. So I thought it's the perfect time to upload it, and it has to be that way. So, yeah.
It's perfect. Mwah.
Yeah, that's it. But thank you for that. And I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate everyone who's been watching those. Those have been a lot of fun to be putting together. Some get better responses than others. And I know if they were all first-time watchers, they'd be doing better. But we're experimenting here, and we're trying out something different. And we're also trying to get a couple of other things working with a couple of other hosts here as well.
Yeah. Always building.
All right. Silhouette Animator, do you think this makes it more likely that Mr. Miracle becomes DCU canon? I absolutely think Mr. Miracle will become DCU canon.
Hondo P.
Tom King's work is becoming a big adaptation part of the DC universe, and the most iconic Mr. Miracle run is from 2017. Mr. Miracle was raised on Apocalypse, the ultimate escape artist. He's considered a new god. He's linked to his wife. What's his wife's name? Do you have her name? I forget her name.
Big Barda.
Big Barda. She's linked to Granny Goodness. And one of Granny Goodness's warriors. They got a big love story. There's a lot of, I think naturally, Mr. Miracle, which I believe there's already a TV show announced about him.
I have the log line here that we read that I can read quickly.
Go again for it, John.
Logline states the new series follows Scott-Free, the world's greatest escape artist. We also established the second iteration from the comics and a new god known to the world as Mr. Miracle, whose perfect life with his warrior wife Big Barda falls apart when their two home worlds, Apocalypse and New Genesis, go to war.
Yeah, there's a lot of things coming, and I believe that absolutely Mr. Miracle would become canon to this whole experience.
Heck yeah.
I don't feel like they're going to do a shit ton of Elseworld stuff. I think that would be confusing. I think they got to keep it primarily stuff that would be canon in some fashion.
It seems like, I mean, especially as we're building up and building longevity between projects, it certainly seems like a thing they'd want to keep focused to some degree and not confuse people with. Although, Joker, people did all right with that. So
Yeah.
So hopefully, I would love to see Senor Miracle become a, you know what I mean, a friggin' canonical.
John
part of
got the
DCU.
photo in there.
There we go. That's why I'm semi-distracted. But there we go. There's a little Mr. Miracle for you. There's some little Tom King for you. Good old comic books transition. There we go. That's what we like to do. That's what we like to say. It's a miracle. We got this on display. Next, super chat. Thank you so much for being so generous, Giga Gang. All right, we got Mayank Rana Navarre. That's right. Hey, Greg and John, what do you think about Skydance's alleged attempt to acquire Warner? What would happen to DC Studios if this deal goes through? Not super excited about that. Like I said in the multiverse incursion event we just lived through, I prefer the idea of a movie studio acquiring WB than like Verizon or some other just like unrelated tech firm. Nabisco acquiring Warner's probably wouldn't be great, but this always means, as Greg pointed out, that they're going to be, people fired, and there's going to be added pressure on projects to be massively profitable, and there are going to be budget cuts and blah blah blah. And less studios, I think, is bad for everybody because the movie industry was built on multiple studios having their own proprietary approaches and stables of stars, and innovating technology and challenging each other. And if every studio is owned by if there's just one mono studio, none of that's going to happen. So this doesn't seem awesome.
I think it can be very much at risk. There's a lot of risk taking happening at the DC universe. And I think there's a lot that can be compromised if this does happen.
Yeah, new leadership. They're going to want to put their hands on it.
Yeah, it's always about how do we prioritize profit.
Get Megan Ellison to buy it.
And I think businesses should concern themselves with profit. It's a business.
You have to.
There just has to be there just has to be a balance that I think happens of like, okay, we can do some things that are very just experimental, other things guaranteed profit. I don't know. I don't run a faulting multi-million-dollar corporation or multi-billion-dollar corporation. So I don't know. That's just my idealistic opinion. Yeah. And if you're here, please leave a like on this video.
Yeah, leave a like and go timestamp the multiverse incursion for everybody.
Silhouette animator, we can do this properly. Peacemaker is found. Desaad, ready the armada. We shall use the old ways. I thought about this a little bit. It was actually during this time, and then we got the heads up about the notification.
Yeah.
They're not just transferred to another planet. It's a multiversal door.
Yeah.
And if Salvation in the comics, if they honor that it is a planet designed to embolden parademons, very well could. I highly doubt it, but it would be. It's like it's a multiverse. This could be fucking the Darkseid Snyder world, Like I was joking when they showed up. They're like, "Hey, they're on the Smallville planet," but like it's a possibility. It's the multiversal door. Like the way they show treats it as if they just got transferred to another planet. That very well could be the case, but like no, they made it very clear that these are multiverses.
Call Ray Porter. Get him back in the room.
Get him back. I mean, he was the perfect voice for Darkseid.
He was sick.
He was perfect.
He was pretty sick.
So yeah, that's a possibility.
Definitely. All right. Yorgos Lanthimos is the Lobster. The Lobstar. Love that. I would love you guys to watch Batman, Superman,
Thanks
Public
for
Enemies.
reminding me. Thank you.
That's what I want in live action dynamic for the world's finest. Isn't the world finest its own comic?
Yes, it is. I wrote down like a bunch of movies too. I'm like, oh shit, do I have to? Sometimes the hosts get really mad at me here because there's just things I don't realize are coming out that might be better, that might be stronger algorithm relevancy wise. I'm like, oh shit, this is happening, or oh wait, I forgot this VOD thing, and there's like 8 things I wrote down yesterday. I'm like, oh, should we add this to the list? Yeah. So I have to go there and maybe move stuff around because I mapped out everything up until January 4th.
Nice.
I'm actually glad they moved. It's weird. Ad revenue, little YouTube behind the scenes here. Ad revenue is the best in December time because November to December because holiday season. Yeah. So ad revenue just like it's weird, Like we can get a video that gets 100,000 views in January, but we'll make more ad revenue dollars on a video that gets 20,000 views in December. Yeah, it's fucking bizarre.
Some more Tickle Me Elmos for the man.
And so part of that with Wonder Man, I was like, oh, okay, perfect time to release it. It's coming out in December.
Oh yeah.
No, now they pushed it to January, and I am a little relieved because December's already so like this. Stranger Things is it's so weird to have like an insane love for a show.
And insane ire.
Insane ire for
they're releasing it.
Holiday. And so I'm like, it'd be nice if they got rid of one show for us to cover in December. So but anyway, no, I thank you for reminding me. I have to add it to the list. What do we got next here?
All right, next
play
up,
a tiny bit of speed catch.
A little bit of speed.
Thank you guys. See all these super chats coming in. We don't end a stream without them. And while John's here, I'll check out the other one too.
Two Eyes is back. Thank you for the comment. No Q, But throwing out love to Andrew, my friends and I gather to play a drinking game for his reactions where we take a sip every time he says, again, had to switch from liquor to beer so we didn't die.
Aw. Do we have a timestamp at this moment? I want to send this to Andrew.
Let me
Like
check.
Roxy did this really cool thing with Aaron for the socials, because Aaron had been, I guess I wasn't aware of it, had been getting like hate or something, and then they did a little like funny video about it, and Aaron got swarmed with a shit ton of love.
Hey.
It was really cool to see.
Aww.
And I was like, all right, I guess I got to unsend that email of firing Aaron.
I guess I gotta invite him back to the channel. Golly, I'm trying to find a timestamp here.
It is weird, you know, like because they're
It's like an hour 10 somewhere in there.
Okay, cool. Let me write that down so I could show it to Andrew later. I think that is important, you know. Like it did bum me out because Roxy said she wasn't bothered by it, and I believe her. You know,
When people weren't excited she was on Peacemaker.
yeah, but I pay more attention to like the likes.
Yep.
Because I'm like, if she, to me, I'm going, if she was really like the most hated thing in the world, this would be like, well,
The likes
I know
would
what.
reflect that more.
Yeah, it's scary when you're like, oh, he's got like a 60% dislikes.
That means
that means this is not good.
It's a lot easier to hit the thumb than leave a whole ass comment.
Yeah, and
You gotta, more motivation.
even the ones who've been really critical on with Peacemaker, they've generally stayed above 96%. And so and I thought Roxy provided a lot of great stuff for. I loved having her there for those.
That was a perfect triple for that show.
I fully agree. So yeah, and you know, it's I'm trying to be more aware when people are mindful of them getting hate, because I forget that is an emotional process for everyone here. I easily lose sight of that.
Yeah.
I know when it is for me.
Yes.
I get afraid to open up live stream talk. That's the one part of it, is like I want to be completely honest when I'm doing these, no matter what, even there's a live stream, but there's that part of me I'm like, but while I'm doing that honesty, I shouldn't be reading the chat. I'm a little apprehensive. Like there's super chats or whatever. I have the chat open right now, but during like the main topic stuff, you know, I try to be mindful of that.
Yeah, 100%. I generally feel like the chat here is pretty positive, but then again, most of the time I'm behind that desk and I'm looking at it a lot more directly, whereas like I dread the comment section more than the live chat.
I do.
Live stream.
I do. I definitely still. Once in a while, I will come across some comments, though. It's like if a video is getting like more hate than usual, I think it is important to understand why.
Oh yeah, totally.
I don't think we can just disregard it and go, fucking haters are haters, you know? Unless, of course, it depends. Like if someone's taking like a high moral stance on something. I know there's two ways business owners with YouTube channels can be about it. Is, hey, we want to steer clear from like political opinions. You know, don't talk about, you know, fucking Democrats, Republicans, or gay people or black people. Like I've heard channels who do that with certain people, and their approaches go about it. And I'm always of the mindset with people here, like whatever you want to say, you can go ahead and say it. I don't really. I feel like there's times where I've asked people that when we're talking, I get more sensitive more about like, hey, if you're watching something that has a big fandom, try to be a little bit more.
Measured in how you express your criticism.
More of that about that than I am like, but if you got something to say about it, you know, a political thing, like, go for it, I don't care.
Yeah,
you know?
it's more, don't hold back your opinion, but don't just like shit all over a thing if there's a dedicated fan base to it. If you have issues, you know, be a little thoughtful in your presentation.
Yeah. I guess what I mean is if it seems like you don't like something because you sometimes there's different variations of not liking something and criticizing something that we've been having discussions with people about. And because the things that we've had to learn on, like, oh, were we making too many jokes and that's why we were out of it? Or were we making too many jokes because we didn't like it?
Yeah.
You know, and having to be aware of that, is that's kind of more of what I'm talking about. I never want people to feel like they have to lie about their feelings on something.
Yeah, I like that. Be honest. Be genuine.
But I understand hate is a tricky subject.
Yeah, and it makes you move. It's just it sticks in your craw, or it can if it is warranted in any kind of actual criticism. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Silhouetted Animator, back at it again.
After this one, can we check in on the Streamlabs?
Of course. I thought you'd never asked. I liked the theme of the original sin of Chris came back when he's at his... Wait, hang on, I'm going to start this again. I like the theme of the original sin of Chris came back when he's at his best self. Meanwhile, Flag Sr. regressed into a vengeful, corrupt monster. Yeah, I mean, like... I'm trying to decipher this a little bit, but yeah, I mean... Chris has had so much to atone for, and like becoming his best self as a guy. I feel like we only glimpse a couple of times, but I do love this dovetail that he and Flag seem to be on, at least in concept. Like it's clear from what we've said that I think both wish that was more evenly weighted and fleshed out in some capacities. But yeah, I mean, I really like the thoughtfulness of that.
I do feel like things were hindered for setup.
For setting up Salvation.
Yeah, and setting up future stuff because they had plans for Rick Flag and stuff. I think if they treated this like this is where Rick Flag's character is, this show, they would have before there was a whole thing of factoring in a bigger universe.
Yeah.
I think we would have gotten better characterization of Rick Flag.
I mean, I can totally see that.
I think sometimes they do I think sometimes things do get. Oh no, I messed it up. Olivia is the hero we deserve, but not the one we need. Wait, what is it? What's the complimentary one? What's the one they say for Batman at the end of the Dark Knight?
He's the hero we deserve, but not the one we need right now.
That's the one. I messed it up. I messed it up in the chat. I was trying to quote the Dark Knight without understanding the context of the line.
But we do need her.
Yeah. You know, I'm saying it correctly. Yeah. I'm not going to try to. John, you type it if you can.
All right.
But yeah, that's what I felt with like Earth X happening, is that because they wanted to make a big reveal out of it in episode 6, there was a lot of exploration that was sacrificed because they wanted to preserve a lot. And then we could just chalk it up to Kristen and notice because it's a joke. So yeah, I think some stuff does get missed in the desire to have or a setup for something in the future. I do think some things were actually hindered due to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thematically, there's a lot of themes there, which I agree with your comment on. But yeah,
I loved a lot of the themes of this.
We'll continue going through the supers in a second. But let's hop into the streams because I'm not going to act like I'm surprised. I saw a big stream lab come in. But yeah, that's what I felt like Earth X. I was like, we got to go to streams, John. Because they wanted to make a big reveal.
The
out of
laws that made us look at
there was a lot of
holy
exploration
Oh
that
my
was sacrificed.
I noticed he's
because
giving
they
it
wanted to preserve a lot.
when
And then,
Coy's
we could just chalk it up to
not
Kristen and
here.
notice because it's a joke.
Wow, we know who you are.
So I think some stuff.
That's a
gets
Delia
lost
Chamber.
That's David
in the desire
Gandy.
to have a
That's Christopher
or
Whamoff.
That's the
a setup
Wham.
You
for
could
something
change
in
your
the
name
future.
from
I do think
anonymous
some
to
things were actually
that.
hindered due to
But
that.
dude, that is
But
super.
yeah,
fucking
thematically, there's a lot of
You know
themes
what
there,
would
which I
be
agree with.
It's been months you
amazing.
haven't donated that high.
I
We'll
know.
continue
What's
going
your
through the
deal,
supers in a
man?
second.
Can't do these
But
as
let's,
much, but
hop
hope
into
y'all
streams
are
because
good.
You think you
I'm
just
not gonna act
come
like
down
I'm
and
surprised. I saw
Wow.
a big
People like a hotel.
But yeah, that's what I felt like
Wow.
Earth X.
No.
We gotta go to
You know what,
streams,
actually,
John.
This
You
is
heard
a
it
monthly
here.
Brandy
The laws that made us look at
There's a lot of
holy
exploration
shit.
and
Oh my
sacrifice.
God.
I noticed he's
because
giving
they
it
wanted to preserve a lot.
when
And
Coy-
then,
Oh, yeah, Chris should do that all at once. I think Chris should give
we know
$500
who you
$1
are.
and
I
have
think
a
some stuff
that's a
is
Delia
against
Chamber.
That's
yes.
Yeah, each one has a
That's Christopher
That's the
Whamoff.
Wham.
You could change your name from anonymous to that.
But
Detailed
dude,
questions
that is
require
so
research.
yeah,
and
thematically, there's a lot of
You know
themes
what
there,
would
which
be
I
to have
It's
one
been
of
months
them
you have
full
the
on.
audio's
that
happening.
high.
I know.
What's your deal, man?
Can't do these as much, but hope
to
y'all are
streams
good. I see. There we go. All right. We're back.
We should be back now.
We should be good. This is a fascinating wrinkle, but every podcast has a unique thing about it.
Why do you think it's happening?
These
It happens when we open up the Streamlab or the Super Chat. Do we need to create new sources on OBS?
they have sound attached to them naturally because they're like web sources, and I think I have the chat thing, the monitor up in the studio, and I have it muted here, but I don't know if it maybe is just still picking the audio, but I have pulled down the audio slider for
Should be
those of you
fixed.
who know OBS.
Is it fixed now?
It seems like it ought to be fixed now, so we can continue on. Sorry about that, gang. Oh God. Thank you so much to that's how much we appreciate the laws that made us. This like super generous contribution that we couldn't say it in just one voice. We had to say it with a multitude of heavenly hosts. We got all of our better angels.
Someone said, "Damn it, Aaron!"
Damn it, Aaron.
Yeah. So
everything is his fault.
All right. Okay. Good. We didn't go that far.
Yeah.
What we were saying to you, Chris Whamoff, we know this was you who contributed an insane amount of money right now. Thank you. Is that we're not a hotel. You shouldn't just be coming in once in a while. This should be your monthly fee to being part of the Reject Nation.
Yes, this is your tithe.
And John was saying that you should donate them all 500 questions all in ones.
Yeah, I like that.
They should take up our entire day.
Yeah, we're just here answering all of your most like absurd little whims.
And people won't want to hop in our streams anymore because they're going to be like, "This is just the Chris Whamoff live stream."
We're just here to serve you.
Because Chris just goes into ChatGPT. He says, "Generate me 500 questions to ask the real Reject."
That'd be really funny. I would be very, very tickled if
he's like Donnie from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah. Oh, and that commercial, that lovely action figure commercial that they played in the movie trailer. Oh goodness.
But hey, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. That's incredibly generous.
Appreciate you very much.
I resort to sarcasm because I don't know how to just receive it, and then when I start saying thank you, it doesn't sound like justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not justice. If you are justice,
do not lie.
Please give more Streamlabs.
Mike Ruschetta.
But thank you, dude.
Thank you, Chris.
That's really sweet.
Thank you, buddy.
That's all I can say. I just
no matter
repeat myself. I don't really know what more to say.
Even one time is like super staggeringly generous. So anytime you feel moved to this level of generosity, just thank you on all of our behalf.
What is like the best way? I need to find a communication video of how do I express gratitude in the most efficient way where I know it lands?
Where I know they know I'm sincere.
What is my communication tactic?
What
of conveying sincerity?
What 3 letters can I remember as a mnemonic device to help me be more effective at accepting people's generosity and compliments? What are the 3 C's of gratitude?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys in the chat for being super on top of it and being patient. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. This is every episode we hide an Easter egg, and you found it.
Please leave a like on this video too, and thank you guys who've been contributing.
Mike Ruschetta.
John and I, before we hit record, we literally said to each other, like, "Dude, let's not concern ourselves with views or super chats like earnings. Let's just have a good conversation." And somehow it's led to the most super Streamlabs we've gotten in like a couple months. So I'm very grateful for it right now. It's like it's kind of crazy. So thank you. It's ability when you let go and you're not concerned with it. Suddenly this like generosity comes in.
Well, that's part of the
key to getting more, John. How do we actually achieve not caring about getting this stuff?
Well, that's the thing,
without having the intention of getting it.
That was the original nugget of the show. It's just like, let's just have a good convo and we'll see where it goes,
It's got to be an actual part of our DNA.
Yeah.
So thank you. No, we have a big screen for reactors. I'll tell you, though, John and I, when we first partnered up for the first few years, there's nothing like watching Zack Snyder's Justice League on a monitor this big.
Like a little computer monitor.
And then remember when we got like the television that was like this? It was like 4 of these laptops.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, this is so much bigger.
Yeah, we got like a 30-inch TV or something like that, 28-inch TV.
It was smaller than that, yeah. And we thought that was like fucking a huge upgrade.
17-inch, something like that. And now what do we watch on like 55-inch TV?
Yeah. Once we got the big TV, we're like, oh, this is what we should have done a long time ago.
Yeah. Now we got to get a 70-inch TV.
But it's a testament to the strength of something like Zack Snyder's Justice League or Stranger Things Season 4 of how great that is when you can like two of us here at a computer with like a shared headphone set, watching it on
splitter.
something this big and being like, "This is just fucking great,"
Yeah, well,
It's just on a small ass screen.
That's how I feel about to a slightly lesser degree about spoilers, but about anything. Like, it doesn't matter what the screen is if it's good.
Yeah,
Like obviously it'll be best on the best screen, but like if it's good, it'll still read.
John, you've been killing it here. You're getting a lot of love in the chat right now, and you 100% deserve it, dude. Thank you.
Thank you. I like to get love for killing.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Mike Ruschetta. Sound tasty. Hey, Greg and John. Hey to you. I'm conflicted on TV runtimes. A show should be as long as the narrative you are telling needs it to be. On the other hand, we are in an era of the MCU and DCU of low episode count and 30-minute episodes. Shouldn't these just be movies instead of series? This is something I think they're figuring out, and I mean, this is a very weird conundrum. I feel like, oftentimes we will see a show and I will think to myself, I wish this had a couple more episodes. And then I'll watch, I don't know, like I've seen a lot of MCU shows that I thought could be movies and a lot of movies I thought could be shows. And then when they do make a show, I'm like, this seems like it needed more episodes or maybe less episodes or something. So I don't know what's happening with runtime. And I am oft like part of our journey, if you followed along with Peacemaker, was us being taken aback at the sort of variable runtime skewing kind of short. And, it's 8 episodes. So, I think you are right to some degree, and I think they just need to have a stronger, I don't know, like there's so many moving parts of consideration. You have to know what to make a movie or make a show, and then you got to get the right writers to come up with all that stuff and to map it all out, and sometimes it works better than other times. But I don't know. I wish the variable runtime thing was working more in these stories' favor than against it, as it appears right now.
It's a difficult thing to break down. Because if I look at Peacemaker Season 1, absolutely should be a TV show. The story they are telling, the runtime they use, every episode well justified. Yeah. I love that season. I think it's a near perfect Season 1. Season 2, there are things you could eliminate, and you could have made that a movie. Some of those episodes are 20 to 25 minutes long, and some of those episodes contain shit you do not need. You could cut out some banter. You can cut out most of the Eagly stuff. Like I love Eagly, but the way Eagly served in Season 1 is fantastic. Here, they wrote stuff for Eagly that, like, I like when Eagly fights the guards, but the whole like we're gonna kill Eagly thing that literally could have been eliminated, and it wouldn't change jack shit about the season. And it seemed like it would factor into something bigger, but Chris doesn't even learn about it. Chris never, I didn't realize that now. Chris never even fucking learns about how Eagly almost died and how he becomes like Prime Eagle and shit. Yeah. Like he never learns this. So no one does. It doesn't factor in it. It's just like a side thing. It does feel comic booky in that way. Yeah. But it could have been a movie. Now, though, if you did make it a theatrically distributed movie, would it have made money? I don't think so. Could you have made it as R-rated? Probably not. Okay, but let's say you make it a movie and you make it straight to Max. No one's going to care. It's going to seem less than because it's a straight to streaming movie. Yeah. People aren't going to give a shit. Marvel special presentations are like Werewolf by Night. It's one of the greatest things they've done, and people don't ever fucking talk about it, because it comes and goes. It just gets dumped. Yeah. So I guess the best solution was to just make Peacemaker Season 2. How do you make it 8 episodes? That way it becomes a week-to-week conversation, but then you get diluted storytelling. And I know, like, if I said this last week, people wouldn't be agreeing. But now that with the finale being something that, and again, like, I'll reiterate just for the sake of reiterating, there's a lot of positives, a lot of things I absolutely loved. Halfway through, I thought I might like the season more than Season 1. But yeah, I do understand like the conflict. But that's the Season 2 we're talking about. Yeah. Some of these shows that are 1 seasons, yeah, they could be movies. Yeah. And but it depends on the gamble, and they've been prioritizing again profit and promotion, and it's a bummer.
Yeah. Odd. I know they want to make Marvel Zombies a movie, but like they can't use Spider-Man in movies.
Oh well.
Or whatever. I don't know.
Spider-Man's barely in Marvel Zombies.
It was worth it for the trailer.
He's not really a character in the Marvel Zombies.
You in the chat, who is saying Secret Invasion was better than Peacemaker Season 2? I don't agree with that at all.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that.
Oh, golly. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll bring back the echoing Seattle KO. We'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way to make that a filter we can throw on once in a while.
Sweet.
Steven, thank you for chiming in. Going to see him, Good Boy, The Conjuring, and The Fog, 1980, in the cinema on Monday with the spooky season coming up. What is your favorite horror movie? Mine is Train to Busan. Loving the Batman commentary. Love from the UK.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll only tease. There are 2 women here who covered Train to Busan. Not a spoiler. Thank you for the Batman commentary, love. My favorite horror movie? I'd be more interested to hear John's.
Oh, my.
Is it still that one from 1974?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah.
It might be. It oscillates.
God, I really
This
don't
week-
like that movie. It's so weird.
I love that
I know you. And most fucking people who love horror do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
can't stand that movie.
Golly. Yeah, I mean, I love that movie. The Thing is also one of my favorites. I mean, I just got to see Devil's Rejects again.
How was that? I couldn't go.
I know.
Schedule got
sad.
busy.
We missed you.
I bought those tickets a month ago.
I know.
And I forgot to get a refund.
Oh, no!
And I was like, shit.
It's okay. I'll pay you for them. I'm happy to support Rob Zombie. I'm happy to support
I haven't
Rob
seen
Zombie.
that movie since like this channel started, probably. Like I haven't seen it so long.
Well, that's the thing is it had been such a long time since I had seen it too, and I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie's movies and his music, and this movie in particular, and yeah, it was really cool getting to see it again for all the things that it is and for its unique, insane little horror, Western, harsh, nasty, quintessence. So that's, I mean, definitely a favorite. It's weird, like for Halloween. I pull out different movies for Halloween time in terms of horror than I do just generally speaking. But like,
Sure.
But yeah, favorites. I mean, Texas Chainsaw, The Thing. If you can count Shaun of the Dead, horror comedy, that's a favorite. Trick or Treat, Nosferatu, Night of the Living Dead. A lot of them are like the classics and stuff like that. But I mean, I love House of a Thousand Corpses also. Hexen is terrific. It's like an old 20s movie about demons and witches and stuff.
I'd say Scream tends to take the cake for me, and I would throw. I'm trying to think like what actually scared the shit out of me when I was younger. There's nothing really scares the shit out of me now. Like I'll get scared, but I don't. There's nothing that like haunts me anymore. Ring haunted me for a very long time.
That definitely got under my skin. Usually human horrors do that to me more than supernatural. So if you like watch
I'm the opposite.
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer or something will definitely like sort of put me on edge.
Yeah, I'm definitely the opposite.
Yeah. Which I mean, the right spooky ghost thing can do it.
I think The Devil's Rejects is the first movie that, as a horror movie, challenged me as an audience at a very young age on my empathy.
Yeah.
Because it is scary because the first half dedicated to the Devil's Rejects, you're looking at villains who are
depraved.
They're depraved, and it does omit that sense of you never know who a stranger is.
Yeah.
And a stranger could easily kill you. Like they're so willy-nilly and so random, and it felt so real. And I saw it at such a young age in the theaters with my mom.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the finale, suddenly you're like scared for these people who you were scared of.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck just happened in this weird ass movie? Didn't I just see this guy assaulting a woman in the hotel room? Like it's this weird fucking movie that it actually it does. That's what I mean by a challenge. Like, wow, I'm fucking fearing for them, but why?
I'm fearing for them, and yet I don't simultaneously want them to win. And there is something cathartic about watching somebody get the upper hand on them, but then their control and autonomy is removed, and then you have an empathetic response to. Like, it is a fascinating little movie,
and the guy who's doing it to them is not bad.
Well, and that's part of it is he tries to get to that point of being that guy, but he just doesn't have the juice.
Yeah.
You know, he's just not that guy, and that's part of the problem. You know, this would have been done with if you were that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and you're trying that. I forgot as much as there is about him like trying to walk the straight and narrow. I tried to do this by the book.
Yeah.
I also forgot how funny that movie is too.
Did you watch House of a Thousand Corpses first?
Not this time around. I just watched it as. I mean, I've seen that more recently.
I meant when you first watched it. I saw Devil's Rejects first.
I think I probably saw Devil's
I didn't even
Rejects
know
first.
it was a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, nor did I possibly think I was missing out on something when I saw Devil's Rejects. I learned like way later, like, oh, House of a Thousand Corpses is connected. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I think that made me like House of a Thousand Corpses even less because Devil's Rejects felt so real to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it starts off with the idea of like the fucking Firefly family and all this stuff, and then when it goes, it's like so handheld and gritty and raw in your fucking face and nasty, and it feels like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has that a vibe. And then House of a Thousand Corpses is the complete. So none of that. I wasn't scared at all during it, and it just read as like fake. And I guess I couldn't appreciate it because I was expecting a similar tone because I had seen Devil's Rejects first. So I don't think I ever gave House of a Thousand Corpses its proper shot.
It's very fun to hear him talk about making it and coming up with it because it's like it did after having to buy House of a Thousand Corpses back from Universal or whoever and then having to sell it and blah blah blah. It did well for Lionsgate, and so they wanted a sequel, and he didn't have like a direct thing he wanted to do, so he was like being conscientious. I was just like, I'll take the same characters and just make something else I want to make, and just like we'll call it a sequel, because if I say I'm doing something original, then they're not going to give me as much to work with.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I guess I'll just make a sequel, and he said he tried to go against all of his instincts. So, you know, instead of cutting or hyper saturating things, like, okay, let's make it really grungy and washed out, and let's hold for longer on stuff, and it's still kinetic, but yeah, I really enjoy House of a Thousand Corpses for the contrast and because it's so zany and wild. And for me specifically, like I pull that movie out every Halloween season because it's weird. Like Texas Chainsaw is one of my favorite movies for what it is and how it feels and all that stuff. But like House of a Thousand Corpses is like the perfect Halloween party version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's more fun, it's more wacky, it's more off the walls, and it does descend uniquely past the point of Texas Chainsaw Massacre at a point. But there's no denying that, you know, Devil's Rejects is the more interesting movie. Like, you know, House of the Corpses is a fun genre riff, and there's a lot of cool music video style about it. But I get why it wouldn't be people's cup of tea so much. Whereas like Devil's Rejects has this unlikely thing where it's like even Roger Ebert, who hates this kind of movie, like gave it a 4 out of 5 review or something like that.
That's why I watched it, because I was a fan of Ebert and Roper, and they gave it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
and I did not expect that.
Yeah, and there's something about the movie that does kind of do this interesting thing where you're like, I shouldn't like this, and somehow I do, and somehow I'm at least affected by and kind of acquainted with, like you said, that random nature of like, I could be this weird story heard on the radio about somebody who ran into a clown off a highway and wound up dead. But that's definitely a favorite. I mean, I love Trick or Treat. I love the Evil Dead movies. There's so many to name. Depends on the day. They live. It's great.
Believe you, man.
I talk horror movies forever.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions.
We do.
We've been a long time here.
We do.
We're gonna be. All right. That happens every one of these streams.
We'll have
wow, we spent a long time here. Yeah.
Rob Zombie podcast. All right. Here we go. Dan V900, thank you for chiming in on the Streamlabs. I am with you on Peacemaker, Greg. Gunn said after 7, he didn't care about the multiverse. Earth X isn't important. It showed many animated series in a short amount of time, expanded the multiverse like Superman killing Lex after Lex killed Flash. Villains were, one of 2, lobotomized in that world. CW had a concentration camp. If you don't care about the multiverse and diving into a world, then just don't do it. The season was disjointed, underwhelming, and had good scenes you could point to, and yet don't have a through line. It's not as good as the sum of its parts.
I agree. It like, you know, when I didn't even mention this in our review. You know, when I knew this multiverse thing was a problem, like for sure, in the final episode. When I started feeling really cynical, the second they opened Candyland door, and I predicted exactly what it was going to be. It's like, okay, we're going to get cute animal, cute creature who appears cute, but is really going to be vicious. Yeah. It is the most cliche thing and so predictable the second they open that door. And what Dan V900 is echoing is like, yeah, that's the vibe I got. Is what's the most fucking generic, satisfactory thing I could do right now. They teased the skull thing in the trailer, which I think was a terrible call.
Bad idea.
And it's literally just that. They just opened the door.
And
it's
like,
what's in the trailer. They opened the door.
I thought we were going to get some kind of, the trailer leads you to believe we're going to do some kind of madcap, like, shit, we got to escape through the time portal and everyone just choose a door and see what happens. But that's way too much to manage, and it probably would cost way too much. And yeah, like I did hope for, even if it was short-lived, some more clever, interesting, like as a multiverse story, if you want to categorize it that way, it is kind of unique still because like there's a lot of emotion and there's at least something interesting about Earth X. But the actual fun and games of the multiversal side seemed very requisite. Seemed very kind of trite.
I mean, he did the typical multiversal story. If you think about it, he did exactly what most of us probably thought it would be. Yeah. The typical multiverse story. This is what we were saying before we watched any of the show, is that Peacemaker would find a different world where he's more loved, and he has, and it's going to look great, and then we're going to find out something's really bad about this place, and he's going to realize the family he was looking for all along was there at home the entire time. It's the exact thing that happens.
The friends we made along the way.
Yeah, it's the 100% the exact same arc, just told differently. So yes, it's not about the destination, it's more about the emotional, intimate journey. But sometimes I do wonder if the shyness to commit to a lane hinders some stuff. You know, like it's no secret. Like I fucking love Superman, and I get fucking emotional as shit when not Gaza is fucking in trouble. They're yearning for Superman, and it does seem very reflective of real world things, but doesn't fully want to lean into it. They have a whole planet of Nazis.
Yes.
And they don't really lean into it. And it's weird when I watch season 1 because the Nazi element of season 1
feels harsh and
horrifying.
Plugged in,
It is much scarier, and it is way more effective.
Yeah.
Like the neo-Nazis living amongst us, and how Augie secretly is like a cult leader of Nazis. Like when he first goes into the prison, and he looks like he's gonna get his ass kicked, and they just fucking bow before him.
Yeah.
And then he's all the skinheads in his home, and he's got all this power, and it's like it is villainous, vile, and scary. And it's scarier than a whole planet of Nazis.
And Vigilante going into the jail and beating up those dudes is way more cathartic than just like a quick helicopter shooting down. It's weird. Like the reversal of Earth X is sinister, and it does feel harsh.
The moment is sinister.
Yeah, and the world itself, because the context, unless that's your vibe, is gonna feel kind of like ooh, nasty. But yeah, it seems like it begged. You could have done so much exploration, or you could have made Earth X. I'm sitting here imagining, like, you could have done a version of the season where every episode Chris is in a different version of his own life, trying to find one. If you don't want to spend time on Earth X, go there for an episode and be like, everything's great except everyone's a Nazi. I got to get out of here to the next dimension where maybe my family is whole and something, I could live with.
I think if anything's half baked, I don't care if you're political or not in your storytelling. I really don't give a shit. I think if you're half baked though, it's I think it becomes a little bit lackluster when it's like just commit. Be like one battle after another is insanely like heavy on the political side, Eddington's my favorite movie of the year. They fucking like rip apart both the left and the right, and it is so like overtly and so far like that. The whole point is to not be subtle in that movie, and yeah, it's just, and that's kind of what I feel sometimes with this stuff, and I wonder if they feel like the political side would overshadow it, but I'm like, nah, man. The politics has always fucking been there. I'm watching Dark Knight, and it's like it's fucking surveillance. I watched Dark Knight Rises, and I'm like, oh yeah, this whole thing of Bane wanting to like fucking billionaires are ruining the world, and we gotta like level the playing field, and and like you're the reason responsible for everything, and we got to make these 1%ers part of the 99%ers, give it back to the people. I'm like, this movie's political as fuck. This movie is so political, but you get less complaints. I weirdly think you get less complaints when you just embrace it.
Yeah.
If you just embrace it, because then you're not trying to be clever or sneaky.
You're not trying to, you're not trying to pretend to anybody like it's not going to happen. And so you can really easily turn away anybody who's not going to be about that. And then for anybody else who wants to either challenge it or accept it, they can.
Yeah.
And it's such a loaded thing to do that it is. I guess if you're open to the politics, you're going to be more inclined to think this way. But it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, just go for it. Because like I'd rather that like now is the time to comment on this, because it's like not a given anymore that Nazis aren't good. So like, just commit to it and really see it through, and don't make it feel like one of a bunch of just little things. It's like it's not it doesn't overtake Superman, but it feels like a pretty notable thread of that movie, the way that conflicts can be manufactured and used to support the interests of a handful of people who are profiting off of this and blah blah. And it's not like making the whole movie just a mouthpiece for that, but it's in there. And this it Nazi bad, yes, thank you, good, but like there's way more nuance. And again, with the Rick Flag thing, I feel like you could have had a really nice parallel happening there.
Why the fuck they bring me fucking Joel Kinnaman?
For one episode.
Like,
I love him
like
so
to
much.
establish the hardcore backstory and stuff. I'm like, okay. It doesn't really feel like there's much like overcoming that.
No.
And then you bring him back for like a funny camp. I thought it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. But yeah, it is. I agree with this comment more and more. But yeah, we should move on. That happens every stream.
Absolutely.
Can't have a good time, John.
Absolutely. No, it's all good. It's all good. Also, shouts out to Sleepy Hollow. I love Sleepy Hollow, and I love Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Love it, John.
Unironically.
And the amount of people who message saying the live stream's messed up.
They still coming in? Oh, golly. Yeah. All right. Okay. We're going to go back to the super chats.
Thank you, guys.
Let's do a quickie refresh. And I guess we should close these, right? In like a couple minutes.
Sure.
Give it 5 minutes.
We should always give a heads up if we're going to close them out.
All right. Well, this is your heads up. You got 5 minutes. I'm going to set it on my watch.
I'm going to literally have a loud-ass timer go off in 5 minutes.
All right.
But appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Very much appreciate you guys.
I'm willing to cancel. Today. Fortunately, today's shoot is just John and I for stuff, so if we have to cancel, we can. We're both a little tired. But this is easy. This part's easy. This is fun.
Okay.
Yeah, we left off here.
Yeah. So we got Silhouetted in there. And next
Right
up is Only Brody TV. Thanks for chiming in. It felt like a Marvel Phase 4 show finale.
Oh, Gen V's not aired yet, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna reserve opinions.
Uh-oh. That's a good hook, though.
I mean, I think there's more variety in opinions on Gen V Season 2 amongst the three of us.
Yes, I would agree.
But this is starting to feel like a kind of across-the-board thing.
Yeah.
Where and it was that's what I was saying earlier, is that I feel like storytelling was sacrificed for setup.
That seems like a thing lately.
It's not as obvious as like an Iron Man 2 situation or some other properties I can't quite think of right now, but it's not as obvious as that. But when you look back, Like, yeah, I think the Rick Flag characterization was rushed and sacrificed, and they didn't give him a fully completed arc because they needed to reserve it for Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they also needed to get him to a point so they can make Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm fascinated, to see if this is just a TV thing or if this infects the movies. I feel like the movies are going to be pounded and folded slightly differently than these shows are. But there's just so I wish we could have seen Rick and Rick Jr. in some way, and yeah, if Rick Flag Sr. is going to be this important moving forward, it does. I don't know. Yeah, it's odd, and it doesn't feel like a Marvel Phase 4 situation to me. There's just a different flavor and quality that those have, and this has like enough of James Gunn's quirkiness and enough passion.
It still feels like his own voice.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it has enough passion that I will take something like this in theory more than let's go with Secret Invasion. Somebody mentioned in the comments.
I would say this doesn't feel like a studio mandate show problem.
No.
Whereas a lot of the time, when someone says a Marvel Phase 4 show finale problem or a movie problem, they're referring to the fucking studio mandate problems that clearly affected the movies.
Yeah, and I think like if you look at Peacemaker season 2, it's like I think this is actually kind of a neat little comparison. It's like something like Secret Invasion suffers for a lot of reasons. You know, it feels a little bit all over the place in terms of its characterization, but also the political part is like really anemic and defanged, and it's not very plugged in. Whereas like Peacemaker doesn't land quite on its. Doesn't do a lot of really deep diving into its political themes, but it doesn't feel like, someone was like, oh, no, the world's too hot right now, we can't talk about this. It felt more just like it got caught up in a jumble of a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And, I guess there just wasn't enough time for whatever. I don't know. It didn't have, the weird seams of like, oh, I can tell how you kind of stitched this and reshot it and blah, blah, blah that Marvel Phase 4 stuff has. But it does feel similarly all over the place. And the runtimes do feel sort of odd and telltale, which is certainly a thing we've had with Marvel shows before. So, they're all having their own growing pains. Nick Alexander.
Thank you.
Thank you for jumping in. Nick can't say no. Highly recommend reading the OMAC project for a fantastic Checkmate story with Maxwell Lord. I feel like it's part of where this is going. Okay, the OMAC project,
Write that down. Thank you.
I was going to say, this is a pretty cool looking cover we got here on this.
Thank you, Nick Alexander. I only got in Salvation Run. I didn't get any Checkmate stuff, and admittedly, I was, all three of us were like, I don't know what that is.
But it's easier to kind of draw. Yeah, they're going to be some kind of watchdog.
Yeah.
If Amanda Waller's daughter is starting it, I wish that whole thread had been stronger too. But like, I get where it was coming from, and like the 2 scenes we had with her trying to be a private eye certainly set that up. So. Plus everything. They kept going back in the recaps to be like, you outed your mom on national TV. And also, there are a couple times it's clear you want to start your own side hustle. And so thus we set up Checkmate. And I get thematically probably what it must be for.
But I felt like she was just trying to start a business. I didn't get the sense it was for a sense of doing better or good in the world. Did you? I didn't. Honestly, I did. If you did, then that's awesome. I did not.
In the most general of ways, I'm like, knowing who this character is and knowing vaguely what we're looking at here, I think that's where we're headed. But
yeah, can you just we should disable the super chat so no more can be allowed in anymore. We will continue through with the rest that we have done.
But if you want to send a sticker, you can send a sticker.
Thank you.
If you want. All right, let's get us back in action here. We got Lobstar, 2 Eyes, Only Brody. Here we go. Nick Alexander and Jay is up next. Jay, thank you for chiming in. Watched the finale last night. I'm not as down on the episode as I see from others and would give it a 7 out of 10. Still excited to see where Man of Tomorrow goes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Roxy actually brought up a really excellent point that when we watch stuff, we're intentionally watching with the intention to review it. We're there to discuss it, and we care to. We don't want to be people, like, a part of what we care about is we want to actually provide commentary afterwards.
And a commentary you can stand by.
Definitely. And not only be there to talk for a minute or two.
Yeah.
You know? And if that, some people don't give a shit, you know? Like, that's,
Some people don't watch that part.
I don't want, this is a personal preference for us, is we want to be able to be like, all right, we might be talking for 30 to 40 minutes about this Peacemaker season 2 finale right now, you know, instead of like, 5-10 minutes, you know, and the average person in the real world will just move on with their fucking life right afterwards, you know.
Well, and isn't watching in as granular of a fashion, and isn't like not pressuring themselves, but they're not sitting there going, I gotta lock in.
Yeah.
You know, you can lock in casually at home or in a more relaxed fashion, whereas if you're on camera, you're locked in a more focused fashion.
Yeah, and you're and there's less reflection happening on the experience overall.
You can immerse in a different way.
Yeah. So I might be giving it a higher rating too if I had just watched it at home. There is a difference there, but that's also not to say that dilutes enjoyability. No. Because I think sometimes I enjoy things more because we do a reaction video. Because I have to be more observant.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, in some ways, the goal is to be your best sort of both emotional and critical self. You know, you want to have like a well-articulated opinion about what you just saw, because that's part of the fun of why we're here. But when I sit down and watch a movie, here I am, the most locked in. I'm like, I want to have fun, obviously, and I want to be open to what this is giving me, but I also, I feel an onus to, observe as much as I can and to have my kind of octopus arms engaged to catch, like, okay, what's the cinematography doing? What's the acting doing? What's the writing doing? And you catch a different amount each time. But I'm not gonna get distracted. I'm not gonna get up and go get something.
I'm not gonna check my phone. Yeah.
So I think in a lot of ways it helps, and just it's like any criticism is gonna fall into that weird trap of like, you're too critical, but like the whole point of being here is to like provide
it's a weird part. I'm like, well, that's what we fucking were here.
If you don't want to engage with the fun of a criticism back and forth conversation, then we just don't have to talk about this. You don't have to listen to this.
Am I wrong about this when I say this? Is that if you hear us praise something for 30 minutes, that is also coming from the critical brain.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah, it's an assessment.
You know,
what we're doing is assessing.
But you get called, you're too critical if you're leaning more negative.
Yeah.
When I'm like, but if we're positive for 30 minutes, it's the same brain. It's the same critical brain.
You can be enthusiastic in a critical fashion.
Yes.
You can gain enthusiasm for critically thinking about something and getting a rewarding answer out of that.
So if I said this, if people said about us on our Superman talk, they could easily say the same thing, like, you're too critical. You mean because of how positive we are? You know?
Yeah. You have too many well-defined reasons for your feelings, be they positive or negative. Yeah. And I guess it's easier to have the positive stuff because I don't know, actually, like, there's positives and negatives hits you. There are slow release ones and immediate release ones, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people at home get critical about shit too. And I think we all forget that sometimes we go online just to see other people who like stuff and forget about the roulette wheel about, like, maybe they won't.
I mean, I've watched shit with some people where all that we really do is just make fun of shit. And then we fucking end up loving it. But
it's a bonding experience.
It's part of the thing. You just make fun of stuff when you're watching it. Fucking Olivia and I do that constantly. We just make fun of something. Even if we're super into a movie, we'll just make fun of something. But it doesn't mean we're like fucking... Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Let's move on.
No, I 100% feel you, though. And some people are not about that life. Silhouetted Animator, thank you for chiming in again.
I like this question.
Do you think they are also setting up some DCU version of The Light from Young Justice, puppeting a lot of the organizations like Argus, Lord Tech, etc.?
Yes, I could see them doing that. James Gunn seems to be setting up a lot of like different groups. The Light is like they like manipulate on a global level and get involved in like, I guess the word would be like intergalactic or interplanetary affairs.
Are they like an Illuminati?
Honestly, I'm going off of very vague memory here. My brain is not like coys when it comes to comic book world. A lot of times my stuff is like, I remember that clearly, to I remember this in passing. But no, like there are like members in there that we have seen already. Lex Luthor, and Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul.
Raz
Al
Al
Ghul.
Did you guys comment on that? I haven't seen the video yet.
No, we did not. But Ra's al Ghul. And I have said that I think Batman Brave and the Bold should start off establishing Lazarus Pit and Ra's al Ghul does exist, or Ra's al Ghul did exist.
Hell yeah.
Because that would immediately convey to our audience who would only, a lot of people didn't know who Ra's al Ghul was until Nolan's trilogy. He's not really one they put in a lot of live action stuff because of the weirdness behind him. He actually plays a really significant role. I just remember this right now. He plays a really significant role, I think, in season 3 of Arrow, where it's like fucking Oliver Queen goes over there and fucking gets Lazarus pitted up and shit. And he's like, I think Ra's al Ghul's like it's been so long. I think Ra's al Ghul's like one of the, I think he's the main villain of season 3, I believe.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, they're in the animated movies too. There's some really fun Ra's al Ghul, Lazarus Pit.
Yes.
Sometimes people just go to see Ra's al Ghul to use the Lazarus Pit for stuff that he's not even like directly involved with.
Yeah. Vandal Savage, who has his own little weird subsection happening in the comic I read last night. We've been talking for a while. Salvation. Vandal Savage, he's part of the Light at times, I believe. And there's like other characters I really don't recall.
I have here the Light's latest iteration has Ultra Humanite, Clarion, Lex Luthor, Vandal Savage, Queen Bee, Deathstroke, and the Zaviad Boazavi.
Yeah.
The Light, according to the Young Justice Wiki, in its current incarnation. In its current incarnation, a council comprised of self-proclaimed enlightened members whose primary goal is to precipitate mankind's next evolutionary step, thus placing it on center stage of the cosmos.
Yeah.
The first version of the Light was formed in the second millennium BCE by Vandal Savage and Ishtar.
Well, they're usually, if they're called the Light, and it's usually consisted of like people who are not good, but people who are not good that consider themselves
misunderstood.
People who are progressing the world.
Sure. Okay.
You know, which is very much like a Vandal Savage or a Ra's al Ghul, but particularly a Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. Heck yeah. All right. I sense a transition, so I'm not going to throw that graphic up here. What I am going to do is throw it over to Alan Smithy. Thanks, buddy, for chiming in. Always holding it down at these live streams. Prolific filmmaker. Happy Friday, Greg and John. Loved the This Is the End reaction. Thank you very much. Also loved the Us reaction.
Thank you.
I used to live in Santa Cruz, so that movie is very surreal to me. Oh my. Have you been beneath the boardwalk? Did you find the spooky magician maze?
We watched Us together the first time, right?
Yeah.
Straight up, I remembered the last shot with Lupita Nyong'o. That's what it is? Yeah. Looking at the boy.
Yeah.
I did not remember the twist, though. Do you remember the twist?
That it's red? Or
no? They apparently, like, I'm totally going to spoil Us if you've never fucking seen it. But
yeah, spoilers.
That they apparently, when she encountered her as a little girl, she switched them out.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like fucking mind blown watching this. So, I'm like, whoa, I don't even recall. It's like such a big twist.
Yeah,
I don't even fucking remember this happening.
So little untethered.
But then it just raised so many fucking questions. And I was like, wait a minute. Now I'm like even more confused about this journey. And I'm going, did I have these same complaints when I watched this movie?
Us is definitely, I remember when we first saw it, I feel like it definitely is a more, and I don't mean this as a slight, but it is like it's the most like.
The Dark Knight Rises of the fucking Jordan Peele trilogy, honestly.
It's the most obtuse and the hardest to define. And it's really effective, which makes it which makes the subtext all the more compelling, even though it's hard at points to decipher.
It's when the explanations come in when you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense now that I'm reflecting on this experience.
Is this a one-to-one motion? Like,
And
what happens if there's a wall underground and you're not next to a wall?
It doesn't look very spacious.
It doesn't look like the mapping is quite one-to-one.
And I understood you guys switched, but how did you gain autonomy in that? There's like things that happen.
What happens to you down there?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird. It just started raising a bunch of questions.
I would like to watch it again because it's one of those rare movies that I feel like
I almost feel like you didn't need the twist.
I
think the twist actually, like the twist is like, whoa, but wait a minute.
I feel like the twist is meaningful thematically.
Kind
and
of.
so I would need to, because it's been a minute since I've watched it, but it's one of those movies that's so good that you're always willing, or I am always willing to be like, but maybe I'm just not looking at it right. Because it feels very smart.
Yeah.
And it feels like the smartest one of the three, but there are things where you go like, but does this work?
I compare it to Dark Knight Rises because Dark Knight Rises is the first one of the three that breaks a lot of, that makes you question a lot of leaps and bounds in logic.
Sure. Yeah.
And like Grant, it's like, yes, I understand the Batman movies are not real, but they do a good job.
When did he have time to go paint that gasoline bat up there?
And why did he take the time to do that to begin with? It doesn't really do much.
Seem like the pageantry is worth as much as
he rallies the cops, but they're all underground at this moment. They can't see that.
It's a message to the villains that he's back and he's pissed.
The army that he gets are underground.
Yeah.
So, how did he get there? And Us has the same thing where you're like, oh, the idea is good, but wait, no, you've established rules. You shouldn't have established rules.
It is weird because Us is in ways I'm like, far and away, this is the best of his films. But I think it is.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It's a tonal thing, and it's like how intricate and how. It's one of those movies.
I weirdly would meet you on like, I think that first hour is like some of Jordan Peele's absolute best work.
Yeah, and it's like even if at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this is the case, but even if you rule it such that everything doesn't check out thematically, like it's swinging so hard and so broadly and so confidently that like even when I'm like, I don't know if this makes sense, my brain still, a little part of it goes, but I bet Jordan Peele knows. It just seems like he knows, and like Get Out's really good, and it's earned its place, but I think it's it's just a little more of a straightforward movie. And then Nope is like I like a lot, and I think a lot of people kind of rank it as number 3. Like it's fun and it's sinister and it's different, but it's also not the most
thought-provoking.
Yeah, and so like it's a little more of a fun one with some cool stylistic elements and his signature dread, but like the first two are more thoughtful than Nope. So like it's an interesting trio.
I want to see him for how terrible it is.
I know everyone's talking about it.
Acts like it's the worst fucking thing of all time. And I'm like, oh, I want to see what this is.
But he's like out here like shit. People think I directed this. All right, Suvik Halder, thank you for joining in the chat. I think the Peacemaker Season 2 finale is kind of underwhelming and anticlimactic. I would give the episode a 6 out of 10.
I would meet you at a 6.
Yeah, 6. Maybe I'll be generous and say 6.5 because a couple of those emotional moments were gorgeous. But
I would give this season a 6.5.
Yeah, I want to say higher, but I feel like for the ultimate like. Sum of the parts, the whole, it's weird. It's like it's a 6.5 whole with like some 9 out of 10 parts. Yeah,
I'm only just doing that to try to get some credibility that I don't love everything DC does. Like if I just put this on the map for a while, people might think like I'm not shilling. Really don't realize it's all part of my master plan.
You gotta have a shill counter.
Yeah.
You keep a shill counter.
When Lanterns comes out, I'm sucking the D of the Green Lantern Corps.
I hope that's good, and I hope they adhere. I've never seen True Detective, but I hope they adhere to a structural format that feels like an HBO drama.
Tell you, man, my dream is to just get high and catch up on all my shows.
Do it.
Fucking all the seasons of True Detective. I've only seen the first season, which is great. It's fucking amazing.
I know.
I have not finished Alien show. What's the show called?
Alien Earth.
I haven't finished Alien Earth. And I haven't... everyone's like, Fargo! I hate that now. When people go, have you seen Fargo? I'm like, yeah, it's a great movie. No, the
No, the
show. I'm
show.
like, why is the show the thing that people talk about now, but not the movie?
Yeah.
Now when you say Fargo, people
Think of
refer
the
to the
show.
show.
That is kind of weird.
It's
honestly,
fucking bizarre.
'cause it is one of the most beloved Coen joints, and it's directly offshooting that. It's directly referencing
I almost
that.
don't want to watch the show because of that.
I mean, I saw the first season. It was quite.
Is it as great as?
It's definitely.
In your opinion?
I would need to go watch it again. I definitely remember being like, "Oh yeah, this feels like unique, kind of surreal TV." It's got that sort of Coen-y quirkiness, and it's got a little bit of that sort of. I haven't seen Legion, which I understand is super dreamy and trippy and stuff like that. But like the Fargo show has this sort of surreal kind of occasionally violent, quirky character drama thing about it. That's
Alright.
It's
Did
it's
we
a
fuck up the audio again?
I don't think so.
You made sure to.
I'm looking at. I see the
Alright,
waves.
cool, yeah.
We have
Sorry,
one.
I just realized
input.
we switched back. So yeah.
We have the correct input, and the other ones are muted.
Oh, I love people's. I'm looking at the chat right now with you guys talking about the hymn and all that stuff in here.
Oh yeah,
Charlie's.
I've listened to so many reviews of him, but I keep ducking out during spoilers, like just in case,
Yeah.
just in case. But yeah.
Wait,
I
who's
feel
the
bad
leader
for
of the light? I forget here. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on some of these comments, but I appreciate you. All right, what's next up here?
Cool. We got Alex. Thank you for chiming in. Predator is getting early access. What do you think goes through pick and choosing which films deserve early access screenings and which don't?
They have a lot riding on this movie.
They do. Especially now that it's rated PG-13 for babies.
Why don't we read Deadshot's question out loud too, and then we'll kind of
babies.
combine our conversation here.
Hey, did you guys hear about Badlands being PG-13? First, I was concerned, but I do understand there's no humans in this movie.
Yeah, okay. So thank you both, Alex and Deadshot, for these questions. There was a kind of a thing with it was one of those things where I heard it. I kind of get it weirdly though. I believe in Dan Trachtenberg so much.
I do too.
Love Killer of Killers. Prey is
Terrific.
not the cool thing to say. It's my favorite one. I like
Prey
it
is
more than
sick.
the original Predator.
Prey is the one Predator movie I actually want to hang out in for part of it.
Yeah. I like Prey more than the original, and it's not scarier than the original. I think the original has a unique, like, unsettling horror to it.
Yeah.
But I definitely care more about our main character than I do the characters in. Even though I think they do pretty good characterization in Predator movie.
No one can take away
I don't
what
fucking defend
Predator
this opinion,
is.
right? I love Prey.
As long as you acknowledge that it's important and it's pretty great, then you're allowed to say you prefer Prey.
yeah. But I personally prefer Prey, and so I think Dan Trachtenberg hasn't made a bad thing that I've seen so far. I'm excited he's doing an episode of Stranger Things.
Me too.
Like I think he's a phenomenal director.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and when I heard it was PG-13, I wasn't surprised because I'm like, yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of fucking creatures he's killing, like, or he or she. I don't know what the predator is, but it looks like they're killing a bunch of fucking creatures. It's like Kong Skull Island. There's a lot of violence in that movie, but it's a bunch of animals that are not real.
Yeah.
So
it's fantastical.
You do like green blood and weird shit, and you know it's fake, so you can get away with it, as opposed to obliterating a bunch of humans and creating like trophy skulls out of them and shit.
Yeah.
But even in Prey, they're killing animals, but they're real animals, like a wolf and a bear.
And you're on Earth.
And you're on Earth, and they are killing humans, so it is pretty gory.
History, yeah.
But this is a fucking fictional world, and so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. And does it need a VR? That's the question. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
100%
there is something to it where you do associate. There's a different emotional association mentally that happens with an R rating versus a non-R, a PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
There's something that feels like, did they somewhat strip this down? Even though I immediately go, well, that makes sense. Because why would it be? Maybe they would force an R rating.
You know, this is the first time in maybe ever I've this thought occurred to me. This isn't necessarily true. It could be completely false, but this seems like one of the rare occasions where maybe they just made the movie, shipped it off to the MPAA, and they made what they wanted to make as brutally as they want to make it and got it back, and they were like, yeah, PG-13. Because I'm like, you know, it's like that thing, you know, there's the cheat code where you can like have green blood in Mortal Kombat or whatever just to, you know, tone down the harsh. And I feel like, you know, in this context, I could absolutely imagine them just doing what they want with a bunch of green predator goo and white, you know, synthetic blood milk, whatever that is, and just, yeah, not having to deal with it.
This is where I really don't know if it's like a studio mandate thing or not, because we have to remember what happened with the Predator franchise. They were all theatrical releases.
Yes.
They were all theatrical releases.
Yeah.
And then a really terrible one came out.
Yeah.
That was a heavily studio done.
And that was a hard R, right?
That was a hard R.
Yeah, because Thomas Jane's constantly Tourette'sing swear words.
That's why it's hard.
Just that, though.
Yeah, no, it's gory, too.
Yeah.
And then they do Prey, which is straight to streaming. And like, oh, shit, this is the one everyone loves after so many fucking years. Like, this is the one. And then Predator Killer comes out. That Trachtenberg has to prove he's not just a one-off guy. Predator fans end up really loving it because that's like fucking for Predator fans.
And also
like,
quite gory.
Like, Prey is accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
Predator Killer's like, if you like, you know, comic booky shit, you're going to like this. But the trailers for Badlands aren't being like from the director of Predator Killer of Killers and Prey. You know, if they say Prey. Because Prey's the live action one that people love. And it is something, there's something really cool that I don't feel like it's enough credit, is that Predator Badlands, they are advertising from the director of Prey. That's a straight to streaming movie.
Yeah.
When do you ever see that?
Yeah, totally.
On these like giant trailers in the theaters from the director of Prey. It shows how much people loved Prey.
It crossed over, and that doesn't often happen with streaming movies.
Never.
Yeah.
I don't know when that ever happens. You know what I'm saying? Like from the director of Bird Box or some shit, you know, or Red Notice. Like, you don't see that.
There wasn't a particular, like, you know, maybe a few people wanted it, but yeah, not the same kind of like people I feel like were out here like Prey should be played in a theater. Yeah. Like,
yes, Prey had that effect. And then Badlands, though, is their first theatrical Predator movie after 2 streaming movies. So I'm sure the Disney umbrella is like, we need to get a little more, we need some seats in this. We need to make sure if there's PG-13 and if it looks like fucking all CGI.
I wonder, yeah.
But then also, sometimes when there's an R rating, it actually does better. However, this trailer also seems to have more like of a sense of humor, like the Dakota Fanning android character. Like we skipped the last trailer because I didn't want to see more trailers. And then we had the Tron Ares event, and then they played the trailer.
Oh no!
It's like, oh man, I tried to skip it.
Now you got all sorts of ideas.
They didn't say they're gonna play IMAX trailers here. They normally it's just the screening.
I mean, did the trailer feel appropriately brutal?
I'm super excited for the movie. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Okay.
But
it's all vibes.
It does have a PG-13 vibe.
Okay. That is the secret ingredient I am fascinated by. Because was AVP the first AVP PG-13 or something?
Yeah, it's because it's their fucking. But they do kill off humans, but they don't show up. That movie's like people love that movie. Like it grew in popularity.
Yeah, and they have all that. I'm just waiting for the like rated PG-13 for intense violence and goo or whatever. But like, I do agree that there is something about knowing something is R-rated that just makes it feel dangerous or edgy or whatever.
Yeah.
And PG-13 makes it seem like it's going to be juvenile and kidified. And my hope is that. It's weird. I'm like, part of me goes, well, how much violence could you get away with now? Because green blood only goes so far. If you're ripping open some alien creature's chest cavity and pulling out the bones and it's, you know, ostensibly bleeding its own version of that, then I could see how that's not going to do 100% of the protection there, and it does. I don't know, because partly too, it doesn't seem like the kind of movie that would have to be majorly expensive, because you have your predator as your main effect, and if they're going to be on this like forest planet of sorts, mainly that's in locations. And CG embellishments here and there, but it's like, are we gonna have 100 predators on screen like a constantly? So is this gonna be like a majorly expensive effects movie, and that's why they're doing it? Because that gets me worried. But if it's just like, yeah, we had this story that's like not super heavy on bodies on screen, literally characters on screen, and we have again green and white blood profiles to use, then yeah, I could imagine a version where they just did what they wanted to and it's fine. But I am also I'm curious, I guess I would say. I'm not like worried, because Dan Trachtenberg's 2 out of 3 in this arena, and part of me is like, well, if this is what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it, I'm willing to entertain that wholeheartly.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, what I want to know.
But I guess the one thing is, as an audience member, I don't want to whiff. I don't want the slightest scent to go off.
Yeah.
That, they had to tone this scene
you
down.
don't want any explanation that this got nerfed as a concession to, and I think it's weird. I get why making something PG-13 and toning down some of the violence will help your bottom line, but I feel like you have to, if you're Disney, be smart enough to know that one thing Predators always had is brutality and violence,
right?
And that's what people come for. You know, that's what they're here for. So,
yep.
I don't know. I'm not worried, but I'm curious. All right, Eddie Rios.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks for chiming in. I just want to share some love for y'all, for all your content, guys. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
Same to you. Appreciate that.
Glad this stream panned out. I'll give you a little behind-the-scenes knowledge. I spent almost 4 hours trying to figure out what the fuck to do for the stream.
Dude,
I have worked so many titles. I researched so many stories.
Jonathan Majors is Kang.
And then at 2 a.m, when I was looking at like a bunch of different thumbnails, I was like, you know what if we just focus on one story? After all that.
You don't want to talk about how sad Jason Blum is for not getting the Texas Chainsaw rights?
I was more interested in talking about Jason Blum's fucking weird-ass AI comments.
Oh, goody.
That was the one that
And
I
George
was like,
Miller too,
I'm
right?
rarely a coy about things. Really not. Like, most coy's like 99% of the time. Like
all AI, we reject
Sean
it.
Aries diatribe, I thought it was so funny. I love it. I love hearing it. I love hearing coys. Like, fucking, like, the rage that comes out of him. And, I do have concerns about AI, but, like, any tiny bit of AI coys, fucking... And he's absolutely, rightfully so. Like, sure. But then Jason Blum did say something like, oh, man, dude, I don't know what context this statement you just said is cool. Like,
oh no.
What did he say?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now.
He said something that I was like, dude, why'd you say that?
Whatever you feel about AI, it's here to stay. It's very important to use it ethically and legally, and for the studios and the guilds to protect the copyright of the artist. But if we in Hollywood stick our heads in the sand and don't use it at all, we're going to cede content creation to other people.
He should have ended there.
Oh no.
It's the one sentence he said that I was like, dude, what did you just say?
The consumer does not care if what they're looking at is AI. We've got to embrace it, but ethically and legally. The consumers seem keen-eyed about this stuff and do seem to care.
Once the head of a major movie studio is saying the consumer does not care if what they're looking at is AI, bluntly saying that. This is like this sounds like a big conceding statement. Like, there's a part of this I agree to. Of I mean, if you can't completely avoid it, you got to adapt in some way to it, but you got to have boundaries in place. And there's like a difference between like open AI and generative AI. And some people just assume if it's AI, it's bad. But there's like there's different levels and variations to it,
and the name is applied broadly to things.
It's like the word fucking woke, like it's just like thrown around, like
very broadly applied to a lot of different.
It's fucking flippant in the way it's used, but this statement, I'm like, no, dude, no. people do care, and they find out.
And they
you
can
know?
tell. Remember when Secret Invasion came out and everyone was like, what the hell is this
Yeah.
opening thing? And even if you think it looks kind of neat, you can
We
tell.
thought it was great.
It looked cool.
We were praising the shit out of it.
It
Yeah.
looked very cool, but you can also tell it has that warbly, constantly morphing thing. And even that, I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe some people like it, but people notice and they do care.
Yeah.
And the further we get into this and the more conversations get had. And like somebody, Albania or somebody just appointed an AI like delegate to their government.
Yeah.
Like, it's fascinatingly strange times. But yeah, I do think people care.
Like
most certainly.
George Miller's comment, I think, is one of the better nuanced ones.
Yeah.
Where he said it's the most dynamically evolving tool in making movies. It's here to stay and change things, but he adds that it will never have that human essence.
No.
And that's the whole point of, especially with filmmaking, even with animation, though. Like that's why I think hand-drawn hits in a different way, because there's a human element behind that you feel. Not just like some of my favorite animated movies are computer animated, but there's a hand-drawn element where there's a sense that a human hand put a fucking pencil to paper on this, you know?
You can feel the ingenuity and you can feel the effort that it took. It's
Yeah.
like watching, the cool thing about watching so many older movies here at the channel is you get these opportunities anytime you watch an older movie to appreciate just how many artists aligned their visions and combined their crafts to make
Yeah.
this thing. And movie magic is very product minded to seed those elements over to AI. It's like, you know, if we're making graphics for something or we're making an interlude or something, you should always, I feel like, get someone whose art it is to make them. If you're making stuff on any kind of scale that's, you know, got some money behind it, like what makes movie magic is knowing that a bunch of people, you know, tried really hard to solve some problems and to make some cool stuff, and they did it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to think. There have been so many movies recently that I've seen from the past where it's like, God, everything is firing, and everything is, you know, you can feel the effort that went into this. Whereas with AI, it doesn't feel like effort.
Yeah.
You know, and it might be a cool image, it might be fine, and you might see a movie with a bunch of other human crafted things, handcrafted things that has some AI on it or whatever. But like, I think the more you remove, like people are talking about, I remember one of the AI CEOs was like, yeah, you know, one thing we want to do with like AI music creation is like remove the barriers. Some people, you know, just really don't enjoy like sitting down and like working at an instrument forever and like trying to spend forever thinking about how a song goes together. And I'm like, the whole process, if you don't enjoy the process, don't fucking do the thing. Like, don't, it's not the same if you sit down. You are not a passionate musician if you sit down and you're like, I need to get this song out in 5 minutes. Let me type down a prompt. Like, then you're not doing the art. And movies, yes, are all commercial art is tied up in being a product. And so that's why this is an issue. But like, like you have to respect that this is a reason to get a bunch of craftsmen together to do a craft.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think people do notice that spiritually, even if it's not something you can always put your finger directly on. And that's why an animated movie like that stands out. You know, we watched the original Alice in Wonderland and you're just like, damn, this is just a feat of art and imagine. Watching recently, it'll be around some point, but like watching Pan's Labyrinth was fucking amazing, because like that movie is like a piece of art. You're like, there are movies, and then you're like, this is a piece of art. And there's CG here and there where it's appropriate. There's a bunch of real ingenuity on screen, and like that is something that AI can never give you, you know? Especially if you just generate a movie for your freaking studio bottom line. Like,
Yeah. Fucking A.
AI, man. Strange days.
All right, man. We got like 20 more of these.
All right, speed round. Quentin Anthony Anderson. That was going to be a story of the day. So anyway,
Yeah, we did.
I think the issue is that Gunn usually is best as a hold on. All right. I think the issue is that Gunn is usually his best as a change of pace tone, not the overall tone setter. His style is very particular and not for everyone. I kind of see what you mean. So like something like Guardians coming out amid the Marvel, you know, journey makes it more fresh and interesting because you're adding this infusion of quirkiness and humor. Whereas, making him the bedrock of something, I don't know. I could see that as being a hazard, but I feel like the way that he has embraced the format and the feeling of comics is a really interesting thing and a good sourdough bread starter for a universe like this, even if I agree that, like his vibe is quite specific. But those are some of the most successful Marvel movies, so his specific vibe must appeal to a lot of people.
I don't know if it's more about tone. I think the issue came down to literal, like, just fucking telling a story. Like, I don't think it's a tone problem.
No,
I feel like what he's done with Peacemaker, the season 2 tone is. I don't think that season 2 tone is unique for that in terms of the James Gunn pantheon. I'm like, I've seen this kind of tone from James Gunn before.
And I don't think the tone is the problem.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. It's like it's not really the tone problem or the pace tone problem. It is too many things to cook with, and
And I mean, Superman is very James Gunn, but it's also of a different tone that is more appropriately flagship, broadly appealing.
Yeah, and I think the way he leans into that different side of him is why it works. That's what I mean by like leaning in. Even that movie, like you don't have to go all fucking political and draw these allegories with the wars in real life, but he certainly leaned in heavily, embraced this certain type of cheesy optimism that really spoke volumes to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get that tone unified. Captain Fernandez, thank you for chiming in. I think Gunn is mashing up Salvation and the Center from the New Frontier as the first big bad of the DCU.
The New Frontier. What's the New Frontier?
Oh my goodness. DC, the New Frontier comic book series set in the 1950s. It's a limited comic book series written and drawn by Darwin Cook, published by DC Comics in 2004. Let's see.
Isn't there an animated movie?
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, and I can see why you would
Yes.
say that.
Yes, there is.
I mean, they had that one point where they go to that zombie planet, which is like colonial, but it's not the same era as the New Frontier. But
Yeah. Oh, this looks cool.
I suppose you could do that. God, I'm really lacking my brain in the racking of the brain at the moment.
Set between 1945 and 1960, tracing the decline of the so-called Golden Age and beginning of the Silver Age of comic books. Golden Age characters such as Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And Silver Age characters such as Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and the Flash.
See, this kind of stuff, I have the hardest time. I hop around comics so much that that's where I really have a big gap is being like Silver Age, Bronze Age, in this era, that era, in this continuity. I have the hardest time being like, I don't honestly know like which version that is. I just zigzag around and I commit to one and I finish it. So like,
what age
you give me a mission like read Salvation Run in the next 2 hours, I'll do it. I'll read the whole thing. But I have no idea where in the DC timeline this is in the comics.
Golly, it'd be cool to see them hop around different timelines and stuff like that. But yeah, I can see that. It definitely seems like swaths of the canon are going to be culled and pitted against each other and whatnot. So yeah, let's see. There's some tributes to the right stuff in this novel, paying homage to the era of culture and political turmoil which ushered in the presidency of JFK. I mean, seems potent, seems possible, as long as they keep that commentary, on track. Love to see it. Let's get him in the 50s. Alex, thank you for chiming in once again. Any plans to do an out-of-the-theater reaction for Roofman?
Nope.
0% plans.
Nope.
No Channing Tatum.
Nope.
No, but I'm excited. I don't
I
know
appreciate
anything
your
about
interest
it.
in it, though.
I only seen the poster, and I'm like, what is this? Is this a sequel to The Pool Man?
I don't know if I'm going to like that movie at all. Or
Why?
love it.
What is it?
I don't even remember who made it. It's a story about a criminal who hides in a supermarket or something.
Okay.
And Peter Dinklage is in it.
Oh, it's by the guy, the Place Beyond the Pines guy.
Oh, Clarence Lamont.
Derek Cianfrance, or I don't know how to say it.
I forgot.
Cianfrance.
Oh, he did like Blue Valentine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie does not feel like those movies at all. This one looks really fun. Doesn't look like the most depressing time of my entire life.
Yeah, I'll have to watch
It's
Blue
fucking
Valentine
art.
one day.
That's what art is.
It's sad. Art is
I
sad.
have found myself just gravitated towards stuff that can be like dark, but fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
I am like so past this stage in I'm just not there anymore. I've noticed my talk to me phase or my like people keep saying bring her back. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to sit through that right now.
I don't know if I want to be that miserable.
It just sounds so
just to concede
sad.
that this is good. You did a good job. Like it's the number one thing. I don't think I've heard anybody say otherwise.
Yeah.
This is really well done. It's really heavy, and I don't ever want to see it again.
Like I think Blue Valentine is. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh my god, it is. It is one of the best acted movies I've ever seen.
Sure.
And because what it's doing is it's telling this is promotion for the director of Roofman, to answer your question. He's telling two stories. The story of how these two met and fell in love.
Oh.
And the story of what's leading to ultimately them potentially breaking up. I get like as a married couple. So it's telling two different timelines and it's cutting back and forth. It is one of the best acted movies I've ever seen. Undoubtedly, because when they're telling the love story, it is so engrossing. You love them so much, you completely forget you're going to be cutting back to another story of how fucking miserable these two are.
Okay.
So you really fucking are like, you love these two. And it's just so
And you're
good.
about to get crushed
Yeah,
by these
and,
two.
and you just know where it's going. And it's so real. and it's not only real in the breakup of what's happening with them, it's so real in them and how they're falling in love. It is one of the best acted movies. It's a brilliant movie. I've seen it twice, and as forgetful as I am with movies. I mean, there's a lot of details I don't really recall, but there's enough experience with that film that I'm like, oh yeah, there's shit I'm not gonna ever forget.
Yeah.
That of me witnessing that. That's why I like Shelby Oak so much. As not like the thing that is just, I'm not fucking shilling for Chris here. Like I had problems for the. I do think like the last 10 to 15 minutes had some issues, for sure. But I'm so happy that the movie was like fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I half expected like, all right, here we go.
Oh, no.
Man's making his art house fucking movie.
Found footage movie.
It's fucking neon, and I'm sure it's gonna be like a depressing ass Tower Time. Like fucking serious art horror, which is some like I love those movies. Babadook, Invitation, Hereditary. There's some.
Shouts out to the Babadook and the Invitation.
Yeah, man.
And Hereditary.
Invitation to me, one of my faves.
One of my faves as well. Shouts out. Earlier question.
And but so I was so relieved
Yeah.
when I was like, this movie's fucking entertaining. And that's what I told him. After the movie, I was like, the one thing I was expecting, man, is how entertaining this movie is.
Hell yeah.
And he laughed because I was like, no, that's not what I got from the trailers. I thought it was going to be like, look how fucking serious I am. But the movie is really entertaining. I thought it was a very entertaining movie. And I was so relieved to be sitting there and then also get scared, which is like hard. You know, that's why I love Weapons.
Yeah.
Because Weapons could have easily been. That's why I love Zach Krieger's voice a lot.
Yeah.
Because both Barbarian and Weapons are, heavier in theme and shit, and they're fucking twisted and
So
dark.
sinister, but they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah, and they're so entertaining. That's why I love Eddington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and two, we were talking about, and not it won't be a long diatribe, but like talking about Devil's Rejects earlier. I was like, this could easily be the kind. And for some people, I'm sure it is, but like this is the kind of movie that should be like, I don't need to watch this again. But like, there's something about it that is entertaining somehow, and is like kind of funny, and like, yeah, even something like that, you can make anything entertaining. Minus maybe a couple of subject matters, like even the darkest, dourest, movie you can make entertaining in its own way.
I don't know
which
if
I
you
think is
could ever
fascinating.
make like assault, like a story about like sexual assault.
I don't think so.
If like
They've tried.
if like the story itself you know,
is entertaining.
and I have a hard time getting on board for. This is me not trying to. I'm not. I get really uncomfortable by it. I always have. Like
sure.
I never watched I Spit on Your Grave.
That's like true exploitation cinema. Yeah,
I like the remake of I've seen the original. I think both of you guys know the original and the second remake of Last House on the Left.
Yeah,
and I like the remake, but I don't think I ever would watch it again.
I could sooner rewatch the remake, but yeah, like it's predicated on something so nasty. Yeah.
The movie Revenge, which is from the director of
The Substance.
Mm-hmm. That's another one where I remember being like, yeah, this is some cool shit, but there's just something about that particular subject that's rooted in that. Red Sparrow, those kind of films, there's something about that where that's the thing is like I just don't find I can't really draw entertainment.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's a totally fair point, honestly. And then certain movies you wonder who does, and then you worry.
Yeah,
they've made like 4 I Spit on Your Grave movies. Not to mention that they like rebooted it. Like it's wild to imagine this is a genre, like a franchise, and like I get that I don't imagine that it's survivors who are fueling that. So, I'm sure for some survivors it is very cathartic to see a movie like that. But it's like that is the kind of movie that is never not going to be just like nasty and harsh.
Even when it's like Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Tarantino's probably my favorite guy who writes like writer director, and even with Pulp Fiction, the one storyline with Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames.
Dark as heck.
I have a hard time sitting through that one storyline.
It's intimately dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that movie's wildly entertaining, and it's like a fucking classic.
Yeah.
But this one story, I'm a really hard. It's one of the most parodied moments too.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that funny? Yeah. Well, and in a movie like that, it's like there's so much else to come back to that's really enjoyable, but you can't not discard that bit of discomfort of like, there's a part of this movie I will always have to brace for.
I think my weird exception, if I was like totally honest with myself about an exception, it would be Kill Bill Volume 1. I forget that. Like, oh yeah, that's a part of the movie that she is being. I can't say the fucking word.
Brutalized.
I don't want to use the word grape. It's just so stupid to me. But yeah, it's like
PDF.
That's happening while she's unconscious for a couple of years.
Yeah,
and I forget that, but I guess that's like the one movie where I'm like not happy when it's in the movie, but there's I guess I can still find that movie incredibly entertaining from beginning to end, even with this element. I guess that might be the one.
There's way more stuff about Kill Bill, I guess, is the thing. Like something like I Spit on Your Grave is very much like we have this very specific premise that's easy to get on board for the carnage of, and we're just gonna go. Whereas like Kill Bill has like lore and a world, and it's multimedia, and there's so much, and it's bolstered by the fact that the tone is camp to a degree. So it's like,
and Uma Thurman doesn't even seem that bothered.
Well, there's also there's the fact that she comes from a world where this is more common than a regular person's world, certainly, and probably knows that these methods are methods employed by people, in these criminal orbits. So like there's an element of disillusionment the character doesn't have to go through. It's like her innocence isn't being tainted and robbed at this point because she's a freaking assassin, and not to say it's a good thing or a justifiable thing or whatever, but like her journey is different than what a lot of that kind of R&R movie does, which is like, innocent person preyed upon by vile, evil fiends and decides to take matters into their own hands. Like that is a very grim, dark catharsis, and that's like in the Kill Bill soup, but there's so much other stuff, and there's so much other nuance and contemplation, and it's not... For an exploitation movie, it's not being like a super exploitation movie about that in specific.
Yeah.
So it's like it is, one of the rare occasions where you're like, this is part of it, and that's not a thing to acknowledge, but also, it's not. It is like the outlier of that whole genre.
I know we get a lot of like trigger warnings for content stuff now, but when we watch things, and that is one where I'm completely like, thank you for giving
letting
a
me
heads
know.
up, as I've never had that happen to me, and I'm not a woman, and it's usually in the movies it happens to women, and I'm just here as like a guy who's just did it's like the thing I will remember. Like, I think of Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and as great of a movie as that is, I think of one particular scene almost every time I think of that movie. There's just something about that. Have you seen that movie?
No. Everyone was really jazzed up about it when it came out, and I couldn't develop interest.
It's really good.
I'm sure.
But there's
I'd be interested
one
in seeing it
fucking
now,
scene in that movie that, like, this is what I think. And then I think, oh, do we really need that scene?
I have heard.
Yeah, there's something about that, and like Wind River was another one. I was like, this is a great movie, and then there's this one moment, and my mind constantly when I think about that movie. So yeah, there's just something about showing it.
It's really hard to justify.
That's probably why I
showing
fucking
it.
Kill Billy. They don't show it.
This is part of
And,
it,
you
yeah.
know,
Is the context is enough. Most of it's weird. There's a lot of stuff I'll be like, go ahead, show it, whatever. But that in particular is one thing where I'm like, I'll never say never, but it doesn't often seem like we really need to do this. And a lot of things in the moment it's happening, it's really easy to feel like you're lingering too long and maybe on the wrong things.
Yeah. Like I will never watch that Irresistible movie. Or is that what it's called?
Irreversible.
Yeah, I'll never watch that. There's nothing that could ever get me to watch that movie.
Someone brought the tunnel scene into a film class I had. It was the wildest. Like, is the cinematography class? We ought to bring in a sequence and break it down.
Yeah.
And somebody brought that sequence in, and I was like, this is the boldest thing you could have chosen. And I'm fascinated that you did.
I heard that director talking about like how actually during the whole time they were like laughing and they like, okay, that's fucking weird. Like, what? The way you're talking about this context now sounds even worse. It's just like,
I'm glad this was I'm glad the set was a positive place to be. At the same time, I'm like laughing. I don't know. Like if you said like everyone felt safe and we were all very like sort of gentle about it, I'm like cool. If you're laughing, more power to you guys. But that's not exactly the first thing I would want to hear. I hope you're not taking the scene lightly, I guess is all.
And I think a lot of time when it happens in a movie to a woman, it's from the director. The director 9 times out of 10 is a guy.
Yes.
It's usually the writer director. So it is used for like the cheap effect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's what makes something like A Vengeance more compelling. But it's also it's it's usually from the perspective of a guy, and then sometimes you'll have it from the perspective of a lady with a lot of guyish tendencies. Like I feel like it's hard to get one that's like really from the feminine perspective that really like justifies its existence wholly.
Yeah.
Then again, I haven't seen Vengeance. I've heard a lot of back and forth discussion of Revenge. Sorry, I've heard a lot of back and forth discussion about it in this context, and some people like it, some people don't like it. I'm curious to find out. But it is one of the rare examples of that is helmed by a woman creator instead of a guy who's like, what would be a cool lady action movie? It's got to be something like this.
Well, there's something that feels a little spiritual about it.
Oh,
if I recall.
Okay.
I only saw it one time. But it doesn't feel like... I mean, it feels real when the moment happens, but after, when the shit you show up for the action and everything goes down,
the revenge.
There's something that does feel like, something reborn kind of vibe.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway,
well, I could.
We keep saying we won't go on tangents, but here we are because you asked about Roofman, which led to Blue Valentine,
whole other discussion,
which somehow led to saying we want entertaining movies and not super dark things, which led to us saying how we really don't like sexual assault
R&R
in movies. And then this one question, I think this all stemmed from the fact that we didn't have any content to provide for this one question about Roofman.
Oh, we found the content,
so we
baby.
just spiraled out of
We
control.
found
here.
the content.
Like, what the fuck just happened here? We have zigged around so bad.
To Charlie's Flicks Fix in the chat, I would say memes can definitely be an art form. But yes, let's get on to the next
No,
question.
we haven't read that one.
Oh, yes, Eddie Rios. My bad. All right, here we go. Since we're entering this new DCU, been rewatching Justice League animated series.
Nice.
And I was wondering if you guys have considered watching it like you did with Spectacular Spider-Man at some point.
Probably not, honestly.
Talk to Andrew Gordon about it, though. He loves that show, and he will remind you any chance he gets.
Yeah. That's Andrew's personality, man. Yeah, he loves that, and I don't know if I've ever actually seen it. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I've seen the whole Batman show. I've seen the whole Superman show. I don't think I've ever seen the Justice League animated show.
I don't know if I
which
ever knew.
puts them together, which you seem like, it's a no-brainer. I should definitely watch that.
I don't know if I knew until he told me or you guys told me. Like growing up, I feel like I was aware of a lot of these shows because I watched like Batman and Spider-Man and stuff like that. But I didn't realize there was a Justice League show when I was a child.
Neither did I.
It's crazy.
But I appreciate your interest in that.
Heck yeah, Eddie Rios. Alex is
However,
back.
at this particular moment in time, probably not.
All right, Alex.
John, can you move this thing so I can read it?
Back in black. What are your guys' reaction when Tom Holland got injured on set a few weeks back?
I laughed.
Ha ha. Some Spider-Man. You real Spider-Man wouldn't get a concussion on set.
Yeah. My back.
My back. That's going to be my head. The whole movie, my head. Oh, yeah.
My reaction is that they're probably making it sound worse than it actually is. That was my first thought. That's why we didn't really make a whole thing about it.
It's part of the narrative of the show, of the movie.
I think if he was like truly severely injured in a way that was very detrimental, everyone would have heard about it in a much more groundbreaking way. Instead of like, if you happen to follow this, you might have heard this.
If he was gravely injured somehow, yeah, I would be more concerned. But
I don't even know what the injury was, because that's the thing. A lot of times when people get injured on sets, you chalk it up to like, oh, it must have been something like giant stun, and a lot of times it's not. It's something that can be very just.
I thought he like bonked his head doing some kind of thing. I thought he got I thought they said he got a concussion, but I'm not totally.
Yeah, she can be
sure.
scary. You can get like brain aneurysms out of like something very slight.
Dude.
A lot of time.
Yeah, I'm always like, any time people get bonked on the head, I'm worried about it.
Yeah. I'm glad he's okay though. I think they're going right back to it, right?
They must be now. I think didn't they just post something? They're always posting something.
I wasn't too concerned about it, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I'm happy for him that he's back in the swing of things.
Yeah. All righty. Hey, Jose. Don't worry about it. Love the Batman Begins commentary.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of comments shouting that out. Will Greg and Coy be doing the Spider-Man movies next or splinter off to individual movies?
We have Avatar.
Hey.
Which I know is what everyone's demanding.
And Coy is going to be great for that. He loves those movies.
And Avatar 2 and 3 are like, I'm already putting Avatar 3 in that category of like, there's. I remember people thinking A Way of Water might flop because it was just generating no real excitement. And then it made billions of dollars. And I think Avatar 3 is going to be the same way. No one seems to really give a shit.
And it's been a minute.
But once it comes out, it's going to make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's a given with that franchise because, I watched. That was another trailer I was avoiding. Like, it came out and I didn't even hit up John about covering it. And I was like, nah, I don't have to do it. And then they played the trailer.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm trying to avoid this trailer.
No.
But even then,
Does it look good?
I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't have the Way of Water. When they did that trailer, it looked like, holy shit, we're doing something different with water.
Yeah. Whereas there's not as much different stuff to do with fire.
You guys getting ready here, Andrew? And Andrew's watching some episode of Game of Thrones with Terrence right now, and he just went, "Oh my god, holy shit!"
They're recording season 2 right now, right?
They're on season 2 already.
I think so,
good.
yeah.
I'm lost track of the schedule. Yeah, they're.
I like that you get a little bit of the atmosphere, the rest of the studio atmosphere.
I'm glad he gets to use it too for that. But no, we might do the Spider-Man movies. Well, I'd wait a little bit closer to some Spider-Man movies, but we've been kind of following. We were just going to do like a couple Batman movies, and then we just fuck it, let's commit to the whole thing.
Let's do the Batman.
Yeah, we're kind of just following the vibe. Aaron and I did a one-off of Ready Player One. Like that wasn't even planned, as I thought. Aaron hadn't seen it before, and I was like, "Oh, you have? Well, it's been a while for me, so let's turn to a somewhat commentary." People were not happy on that one. I could tell by the likes and dislikes.
Oh, it's because you didn't remember all the berries.
Just didn't love it.
You didn't love all those.
I didn't love it.
You held it to too high a standard.
Yeah.
Being about themes and detachment.
I shouldn't hold Spielberg's movie about corporatizing and fucking wealth inequality and escaping from your own reality into a virtual world completely devoid of stripping all commentary from its famous novel. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, no.
I'm glad people who wear skins is enough to make up for this.
Your standards are way too high. They turned the Iron Giant. No, I'm not even going to get into it. All right.
I know you get really offended by that, but it's not the real Iron Giant. It's not like they plucked the Iron Giant out of the multiverse.
No.
Some person with a fucking avatar. It's like playing a Mortal Kombat character.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
But you would think Spielberg would have a sensitivity about it.
You would think that, I don't know, just because it's like such a, it's the theme of the movie, and he says, I am not a gun, like the whole, in the director's cut, he has a nightmare about this very thing. So like, in a way, if there's a way to, I don't know, it's fine. It's not a problem. But, acknowledging it somehow would be nice, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Well, either way, Ready Player 2's coming. Clayton.
Here.
No! Oh, fun. Clayton Crook, I would find it weird if Lex were to make sudden change of heart in the Man of Tomorrow movie. Seems like he has everything he would want. Thoughts?
Don't think he's going to make a change of heart at all. No. There's
point
so much more to go down with Lex. And Lex is not a straight-up villain. Lex really thinks he's a hero. That's the whole point, I think, of constructing the words Man of Tomorrow, is which ideal are you going to fall under in a world between metahumans versus, regular Homo sapiens? Where are we going to fall in the future? Do we subscribe to this idea of the gods who live amongst us? No, I don't think. I think I would love if James Gunn were able to write it where you could challenge the audience to being on Lex's side. That's what there's a Lex Luthor, Coy recommended to me a while ago, I read it a while ago, is Lex Luthor Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It's all from Lex's POV. And it was actually the first time where I really felt I completely understand where Lex is coming from on this. The way they illustrate it, the way they capture every motivation, how he sees things, it really shined a light. And right now, everything with Lex is, well, clearly you're wrong, dude.
Sure.
Like, I get your motivation, but clearly you're wrong. Even with Thanos, there's a part of you that's like, yeah, we're overpopulated.
I mean, I think, at least from a lot of the animated movies and stuff, the part of the fun of Lex Luthor feels like it's about him being very convincing part of the time. And there are times where you're like, oh, I guess maybe he is trustworthy. And maybe he is just, trying to help and acting, genuinely on whatever his mission statement is. And then he always comes back around and finds a way to be like, you were 10 steps ahead and really being self-serving. So,
well, even in the Salvation, I won't give it away, but there's this moment in the Salvation comic because Lex Luthor is, I would say, the main character in that. Where the entire time it looks like he is just doing this to be the betterment of the two sides here, these factions, these tribal sides, and he seems like he's being a good hero, but then he's willing to make some ugly sacrifices, and I want to see that side where, if you don't have superpowers, what sacrifices would you have to make that would deem you a villain, even if it's for the greater good?
Throw people on the fire.
Yeah,
people in the path.
I think there's a lot of really interesting things they could do with Lex. I just hope they actually do them.
Yes. Wow, and then that's a hard character because you have to be very smart. Now you write him.
Yeah,
a genius requires genius level writing.
Even with the Joker, sometimes he makes points in The Dark Knight where that speech that he gives to Harvey Dent, Where he's like, it's all part of the plan. As long as all that whole speech about it all going according to plan.
Yeah.
You know, every time I hear that speech, I forget that every time I hear him, like, he's totally right about the way we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone loses their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that like statistic versus individuals versus.
And I haven't had that with Lex yet once. And anytime I've seen the Superman movie or anytime I've seen or like his little appearance, which makes it harder to get on board for Rick Flag's sudden turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so no, I don't feel like that's a concern at all that he's gonna have a change of heart. I feel like if anything, the alliance would be a temporary thing that he needs to do, but wouldn't ultimately change him. He's not gonna be like, maybe I was wrong about you, Big Blue.
Nah.
No.
That 1% chance is always going to be there.
Always will be there.
Take the absolute certainty.
And I'll say it. I liked Jesse Eisenberg as Lex.
My man.
All right.
My man.
I don't care.
I do too.
Right?
He's fun to watch. I don't care.
I don't care. I know it's not
I know
fucking
it's not.
Lex Luthor. But I fucking like him. And I love the choices he made in that.
I love how Jesse Eisenberg has caught 100% of those strays when it's like, this is Zack Snyder's idea. Like, nobody credits Zack Snyder for that.
And he does feel like more akin to our weird modern day tech billionaire fucking spoiled shits that we have. Like, he does feel like, look at this guy trying to be cool.
Yeah. He's Kid Cavalier or whatever from freaking Alien. But
yeah, I like that it's Lex.
yeah, I like watching him. Granny's Peach Tea. Silhouette Animator again. Thank you for chiming in. If you thought Peacemaker's cliffhanger was wild, look up Krypton's and Pennyworth's final scenes. Oh no.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, Pennyworth, the origin of Alfred's Batman's butler or whatever it's called. And
He
the
became
Krypton
the Wayne's butler, but you never knew how he became the Wayne's butler.
He just gets trapped in a pantry at the end of the episode, the season, and then you're like, is he ever gonna get out of the pantry? Is Bruce ever gonna find him in the pantry?
I heard that show was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, people like it. It went for longer than a season, so I assumed it must have been all right. I feel like it's real easy to like get one season of a superhero thing and not have it come back. But
The show I loved that I didn't expect to, I wasn't a big fan of its final season, but the show I loved that I wasn't expecting to was Gotham.
It made me want to watch it when you were watching it. You seem very chuffed.
I think it was a really good show. There's some great stuff in there, and there's Batman characters that I think they did a pretty good job. They have a professor, like people say they should bring Professor Pig, and my introduction Professor Pig was in that.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought it was made up because it was just so outlandish and disgusting and weird. And then I was like, oh, it's a real character from the Batman comics. I didn't even realize.
Nice. Yeah, like Mad Hatter and other stuff too, right?
I don't remember if they did Mad Hatter.
I thought there was a Mad Hatter on
They had Hugo Strange is in it.
Yeah.
He's played by Henry Wu.
Oh, really?
And it's very much who he becomes in like Jurassic World, but amped up.
Fun. Oh, I guess,
know?
yeah. I guess is why you call that.
That's my favorite transformation in any franchise. This guy who had one scene 4 movies ago is now like, ooh, I am the fucking scientist now.
Pulling the strings genetically this whole time. Any sinister Jurassic thing, they call me on speed dial.
And the Dominion, they're like, oh, he's got a reflective, despondent arc where he wants to do good now.
I'm the real John Hammond.
Like, no one cares about you.
No.
Bring back Jeff Goldblum.
Bring him back so he can say something about chaos again.
I didn't think this cliffhanger was wild.
No.
It was more like, what the fuck, Rick?
Yeah. You asshole.
Yeah.
Well, and I do like that, like interdimensional prison. I'm like, that tracks. That's something we would do.
Well, I don't feel like they made the, like, reading Salvation got me excited because I read Salvation.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, because now I've done the work.
I've done the work of the possibilities.
Yeah.
But when I watched it last night, I just felt like they shot it in some random open field and threw some sound effects in there.
Yeah.
I didn't get a vibe. I didn't get like a horror atmosphere. It just seemed like, he's here. We're going to put some sound effects in post.
Yeah.
Just didn't feel like there wasn't a mood about it.
Yeah.
Felt like we're doing a setup, that we have to set something up. But I didn't get, so when people are like, crazy, was it? It's more like they put John Cena in a field. And they,
I feel like it's only crazy. I'm only struck with it as being crazy because there's been doubt cast on the concept of a Peacemaker season 3.
Oh my God, no! Right away, James Gunn's like, no, there's more. There's more coming. Right away, he went right on the line. It was like, no, they're coming. We're more.
All right, then fine.
He didn't say directly season 3, but like, no, all these characters are coming.
It's a big development, but I'm not like, oh my God, I could have never imagined that they would try to do something like this.
But there's not a real. I don't feel like they do a real strong alluding to what Salvation opens up the possibilities of. You know,
not exactly.
Like
other than
they provide the context of like imprisoning metahumans.
Yeah,
but we don't see anything of that.
Yeah, and we don't get the idea of this being like a culling ground for all villains, and since they're saying it's all metas, it's just a very general idea. It's just like it's sinister, but it doesn't really give you like a story to think about.
Yeah, part of me wishes they had like a couple of random villains. They don't have to be huge. Like the comic starts off with like Captain Cold and Heatwave and a couple other fucks.
Hey,
they're already there.
Yeah.
And then they go back to like how they got there. But if they had like just a few to establish something, I think that might have been. And I feel like Chris is somewhat of a metahuman. He's got to be.
Seems like
the amount of shit that that regular human can handle on a physical level.
Yeah.
He has a building dropped on him in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
He's got the most insane aim ever. Unrealistically strong aim.
Yeah. Plus he can fight. And
the
all
way
that
he
stuff.
the way he heals. He heals miraculously. He's got to be a metahuman on some level. Like if you're going to keep doing your thing about metahumans or metahumans, and then there's humans, then you really have to drive home. And you know what did it well? You know what fucking did it well? Creature Commandos.
Funny though, like that's really interesting to know that, because too I feel like there would be a lot of really interesting, fun nuances to play with in terms of some people are obviously metahumans, some people are not. Some people seem certainly like they're human, but they certainly are more durable and more skilled than any normal person, even elite people could be. So like, yeah, I feel like there's lots to explore with that. I would hope they do.
Yeah, I feel like the way that if there's any rules to this universe, I think Peace in the chat. Do you guys think fucking Peacemaker's somewhat metahuman? I think he has to be. That shit he survives.
I yeah, I don't know.
You can't chalk it up to he's buff.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel like we've seen other buff dudes meet worse fates on shows.
He doesn't even have a limp.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's like unscathed. Like he gets cut sometimes, but that's about it, you know.
Rick Flag fucks him up. You know a shot where he like knees him in the face?
Yeah.
And then he's fine. Every time he's just fine. Like there's no residual.
He was in you know, he was in the hospital at the start of the show though, so that's what makes him human, because he had to be in the hospital after the Suicide Squad movie.
Stupid.
People generally in here think he's human. Some people are saying he's on steroids.
That wouldn't do anything.
I don't know if that's a serious comment or not. Anthony Cheeseman,
steroids healed people to that degree.
Anthony Cheeseman says he literally ate shit on pavement and walked away. Lol. He got shot in the neck and a building collapsed on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah, I even forgot about getting shot in the neck.
Yeah, this does certainly seem like a candidate for someone. Marcus Harding Tarp Carlson says his helmets are metahuman. Or WT Tragic says his physique is metahuman. Like I think there's an argument. I think there's too much you could look at and go, he's more than just a man.
Yeah,
you know. But it's called Neosporin. Thank you, Kenya King. Yeah, it's just off the screen. He's always slathering up.
Whoa, you really said. I got this. Kevin McMandevil says, boys, your audio is jacked. We're way ahead of you
We're way
here.
past that.
Appreciate you looking out, though, and appreciate the super chat, man. We should fuck up our audio. Look at these people. Lobster, the audio is just what Joker hears in his head.
Let me see
appreciate
if I can get
Lobster.
It back. Let me see if I can get it back.
No,
let me see if I can get it. Give the people what they want.
They don't want this.
They do. They do. They want it. Okay. Anyway, we can continue with the super chat.
We got to put it back down, over.
All right. All right. There we go.
Is the audio back to normal?
Well, it's normal right now.
Audio is jacked.
Now
We're way
it's
ahead
not.
of you.
Now
We're
it's chaos vision.
Appreciate you looking out though, and appreciate the super chat, man. We should fuck up our audio. Look at these people.
All right, put it back down.
All right,
bro.
we're gone.
It's just funny because we got all these super chats. Forrest Collins, this is an incursion event, man. Please fix the audio. Thank you. Kenny Venegas, you guys please check the stream audio right now. It's bad. Keep going. Lobstar, thank you for the super chat. Get out of my head. Aaron Coral, sorry for crashing the stream audio. Thank you, Aaron.
Seattle
Seattle
KO.
KO.
Please don't crash out, John. It's
Thank
okay.
you. Oh,
I
thanks,
crashed
guys.
in.
Lobster, the voices are gone. No more voices in my head. I love this.
Thank you
We got
for-
so many people contributing. Just, it's never. We are so fortunate to have a stream go haywire and get fucked up audio for 10 minutes without realizing, to then have people still contribute to just make us aware. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Really sweet of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Adam, thank you, man. While I do appreciate the campy, colorful nature of Gunn's DCU, and I'm hopeful for its future, I really hope Green Lantern takes itself seriously and leans heavily into True Detective vibes. Gritty Hal. This is what I was saying to Coy a couple weeks ago, is the only tone we've gotten right now is James Gunn. And we need the other voices. We really do. Because at this point, James Gunn is the star of DC.
Yes.
And he is the only voice we've had of the DCU.
Yes.
And we need a different voice to show the variety.
I would agree.
And when the directors and them are doing press, it can't just be James Gunn going on podcasts and being the star. Like we need to really shine a like. I think Lanterns will be a very different voice, and I'm super excited for that. And Craig Gillespie for Supergirl, I think, is a great call, and I feel like that'll be a different voice. We really need to showcase the different voices, because right now it is just. No one goes Kevin Feige's MCU.
Yeah.
But we are looking at this as not just the DCU. We look at this as James Gunn's DCU. And we need to get past... That's the weird thing. We actually have to get past thinking of James Gunn. So we could just accept the DC universe.
So it can live on its own and just, and have its own voice... That is a it's
you need a leader.
This is so hard because you do need a collaborative voice of its own that is unique to this universe, but that allows for enough variation between projects. And I think that's a tricky thing. And I like that this universe has started out very heavily steeped in an auteur's vision. I think that does harken to what they wanted to do initially with the DCEU. And this is just a new version of that experiment. But yeah, I am now especially very curious to see how the tone fleshes out when we get some other voices in here and some other writers and directors and whatever else. Because even a Peacemaker that has variance in terms of direction is all pretty much mostly written, I think, by James Gunn.
It's all written by James.
So yeah, I think the variation will be the next sort of mountain for them to climb and to incorporate, because I think too what they're going to find is which creatives gel the best with this universe and are capable of then tempering the Gunness of it with their own ness and whatever else.
Yeah.
Because all these people, I'm sure he's going to get together, are going to be comic heads. So that part's good. That part's taken care of. Like, will this harken to comics?
I mean, if you look at any franchises, the big ones, they live past as authors.
Yeah.
You know? And James Gunn didn't create DC.
No.
But like Star Wars far lives past George Lucas. Lord of the Rings lives past Tolkien. Harry Potter still lives on because they don't fucking think about... People can fucking hate J.K. Rowling, but I love my Harry Potter.
People do love that Harry Potter. People love him. Sorry, I'm just trying to make all the colors better. Yeah, I don't know. Then we'll see what Harry Potter turns into under HBO's guidance. But
woke. Hermione's going to be a woman.
People were freaking out about the prospect of an actress playing Voldemort, but when I saw the Cynthia Erivo mock-up, I was like, that would fucking work.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's what Cynthia Erivo and fucking Zoe Saldana want to do. They just want to keep being fucking black women plastered in makeup.
Yes. Cover me up.
Cover up the black.
Oh, jeez. Make me grieve.
It's such a thing that happens a lot now, right?
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
That was weirdly a part of like, well, I was happy when we first introduced Jonathan Majors as Kang, that it was He Who Remains. It wasn't like fucking Blue King right away. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They bring that in later, but we very much acquaint with him as the guy who looks like Jonathan Majors. Yeah, totally. Michelle, shout out to Aaron Koval and John Crashing Out, sending love to Olivia.
Hell yeah.
Shouts out to Olivia for getting the message through to us.
She was great. She really did. She actually saved it.
She saved
I don't
the
know why she
stream.
was listening.
You know, she's obsessed with you. She's obsessed with you, G.
That's sweetheart.
All right, Michelle, here we go. What horror movie lineup do you have ready to go for Halloween? Happy spooky season to you all. I can tell you, I wrote it down because I've been asked this before and I forget sometimes.
Give you a solid 30 seconds.
Okay, so
We are. I anticipated we go over schedule. I didn't anticipate we go.
this over.
It's over schedule.
Yes, 100%.
What to go?
Okay, so I compiled a list of 10 at bare minimum. Trick or Treat for sure. Any Halloween is dealer's choice for me. It's Rob Zombie Halloween. It could be any Halloween for you. Sleepy Hollow, I think, is a great Halloween time watch. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's not Halloween unless I watch that. Same with the Christmas one. Hocus Pocus, I think, is terrific for Halloween time. Nosferatu, really good, chilling vampire, spooky vibes for Halloween time. I think
Nosferatu?
I think I would pick the OG one personally because it's about the silent moviness of it all. But hey, I'll leave that like a Dracula dealer's choice if you want to watch Bram Stoker's, if you want to watch David friggin' Eggers.
Shouldn't have asked that one question.
All right, Night of the Living Dead for sure. House of a Thousand Corpses is one for me. Hexen, definitely check that shit out. That is a great Halloween evening watch. I'd also say maybe like an Addams Family movie, something like that. Yeah, those are Halloween time movies I often reach for.
Love to hear it, John.
Hey. All right. Thank you, Michelle. Ask me again on any other day and you'll get more different choices. Jorge, the only one, the one and only. Do you think casual fans need to watch Peacemaker Season 2 before Man of Tomorrow to explain the multiverse door and etc.? I hope it doesn't turn into homework.
It's feeling like it a little bit. I mean, some stuff you can explain in a couple sentences.
Well, I think you could get the idea out of what salvation is without having to be like, oh, watch Peacemaker. Weird. Man of Tomorrow, I don't know if it would be that important. I guess it depends on how much all of this interdimensional prison stuff factors in, but I feel like even that you could take care of without having to watch Peacemaker.
That's true. I do think that sometimes, though, let's say, okay, so they explain like the Lex situation in a couple sentences, and Peacemaker Season 2 didn't exist, but everyone's like, you don't need to watch Peacemaker Season 2. Will the explanation feel good? Or will it feel cheap? Let's say they didn't do Peacemaker Season 2, but they wanted to get to that plot line. I think it's all homework. I think everything's homework at the end of the day.
I guess so. It's going to be if it's this significant, it certainly seems like you'd have to at least watch an overview.
The thing is, it is homework, but we don't want to view it as homework.
Because homework is patently unfun.
But if it's connected, it's homework.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you end up watching shit just because it's connected, it's homework.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
If you're not interested in a project, but you watch it because you know it connects, it's homework.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess the goal of comic book properties now is to make homework fun and worthwhile.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part because, I guess, no, you're not wrong.
Like anytime I have to rewatch a season of television, it's fucking homework.
Yeah. There's literally
and the
homework.
goal is to get past the feeling of it feeling like homework and actually just look forward to watching it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Instead of feeling like I got to go study the text.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened with the fucking Salvation comic last night. It was like, homework.
Yeah.
I don't want to power on a comic at 1 a.m, but then it became enjoyable.
If only real homework could do that. which sometimes I guess
it'll
it
never reach those heights.
I mean, this
They
is
should
at
give
least
up on
homework.
formal education, John.
They should. I agree. That's what we're here to accomplish today. But yeah, I feel like homework. Yeah, they'll need to acquaint themselves with it somehow. So I guess it is homework. Oh well, Benno. Hey guys, love your content. Thanks for chiming in. Every year you just level up.
Nah.
Nor downward spiral, baby. Do you guys think Aaron Taylor Johnson could be a top contender for Batman? I personally think, like Theo James, think his Bruce Wayne would be good.
I only know Theo James from that one fucking franchise.
Yes.
He's one of those actors who I don't give enough credit to because I only know him from one thing.
I want to see the monkey. Isn't he the lead of the monkey?
Are you sucking your thumb right now?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just biting on my fingernail here.
Yeah, he's also the lead in the Guy Ritchie show, The Gentleman.
And he was Bastian in X-Men 97.
Yeah, I need to see more than that.
Sure, agree. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. He's young Vesemir in one episode of The Witcher, but I'm not going to count that in terms of being very deep in my, acquaintance with this guy.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is one of those fascinating actors who's constantly on the verge of being that guy who Hollywood is trying to make a thing.
Yes.
He is like Scott. He hasn't become Scott Eastwood. He hasn't become fucking Taylor Kitsch.
No.
Those guys who they try to make, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, totally.
There's like that category of guys that try to make a thing.
He's been able to maintain in this lane in a fascinating way because, he occasionally is in stuff where, he's fine. But a lot of the time he's in stuff where he's really good and he stands out. And, like, his people must just be really proactive because, like, he's, gotten a number of, like, big franchise leads or, prominent ensemble. Like, Bullet Train is, like, he's one of the prominent ensemble. And he does have a very interesting career. Like, he seems like he's living a lot of the leading man life just without a lot of the, like, attention.
Well, I loved him when he came on the first lead with Kick-Ass. Which is so funny because he is just like a nerdy. It's so opposite of who he plays now.
He's jacked,
he's
suave
like
guy.
fucking super buff dude now.
Yeah.
When the whole point of Kick-Ass is like this dweeb is gonna try to be a vigilante.
Yeah.
And I love that movie. But yeah, I mean, I love him in. I thought he was great in Bullet Train.
Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite parts of that movie.
I am of the camp that wasn't huge on his performance. He was the only one in Nosferatu that I felt like was acting, where everyone else felt very real to that time for me. And I loved him in 28 Years Later.
He's fantastic in that movie. Yeah, he's really good.
I actually didn't mind him as Craven casting. It just wasn't a good movie.
Sure. Still got to watch that.
Could he be Bond? I mean, not Bond. Batman?
He could be.
I don't know.
He's more Tech Knight to me than Batman.
Yeah, I think he should be. I don't feel like he should be like one of these fucking.
I feel
like Robert Pattinson as Batman works in The Batman. It wouldn't work in Christopher Nolan's trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Robert Pattinson, he needs to play guys like fucking weird.
Yeah, and quiet.
And like Christian Bale's is not a weirdo, but the Batman, he captures that weirdo side of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson should stick to roles more like that, where there's like something kind of off about this guy.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I like him in 28 Years. He's like an imperfect father, and he's a bad husband. Those kind of guys. I think he's really good at that.
Well, that's the thing
But like a Batman, I don't know. He's got to be like a fucking like super flawed Batman.
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like it would have to be more along the lines of the Batman to get me interested, and in a lighter world or a more comic booky world. Not that he wouldn't be interesting, but I almost feel like there's some element of like, want him to be hidden behind a mask and like brooding guy when I know there's like way more stuff in his arsenal.
Yeah.
And not that they wouldn't maybe characterize him, but like Batman isn't necessarily the character where I'd be like, yes, put him in there to, you know, disappear into this monster guy. Like I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson is kind of more interesting when you can get intimate with his performance, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's got the jawline, but I think I would sooner cast him as Bond, I think, than Batman. Even though, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if he would be my pick for a Bond. I would be like, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
Versus Batman, I'd be like, I'm sure he'd do a good job. But Bucky Barnes, NC, thank you for chiming in. It's because we love you guys. Kick it off.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving. Thank you for kicking. Scott Williams, are there any other reactors going to react to Selena the movie? Your reaction is great. Thank you so much.
Ooh, maybe. I'll find out if other people haven't seen it.
Absolutely.
Just
That's
got really
great.
lucky with the time. I remember that day being that was a day where we were so in conflict because I really was like not in the mood to watch it.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was such a conflict.
I don't
of
think
like,
either of us was.
Yeah.
And then it
really
was very
liked it.
affecting.
It becoming
It was
like one of our
really
most
good.
successful videos of that year.
Yeah, it's terrific. Yeah, I'm glad we did. I'd say it's sometimes that's the argument for like throw on something that you might not be in the mood for, that you might not have like a huge like, you know, excitement about, because you might be very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Mason Correa, hey cuties, when's the Greg and John pod coming?
Fuck,
please?
man, you have no idea. Like
It's in the progress. It's in the works.
Don't remind me. Trust me, that's a thing, and we have a lot shot. And it's cool to actually see it. If I could tease a little bit, because we shot the most recent one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we started filming at the beginning of this year, and you could literally we weren't really sure where it was going. And if you watch the first episode, then you watch the last, we were like two very different people. And it is cool to see like, you capture like a bit of a real life character arc, like pod documentary in a way.
Yeah.
Just through honest conversations where we check in every once in a while. So it's pretty cool. And once we shot the final, I was like, we do have something here.
Yeah.
It's just
It is a diary.
the behind the scenes producing.
The production side is
the producing side
is
that is
multiform.
like, why is this complicated? Because it shouldn't be.
Yeah. the essence of this thing is so simple in a way and so organic, and yet the actual figuring out and logistics are
If it was just
tied up in other stuff.
Yeah, if it was just Real Rejects, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it would be well out and into the world by now.
Yeah, and like, the people we're doing it with are amazing. I love them. That it is their first foray into something like this, so it's a little bit different, and there's other legalities and stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Is that the last one?
No, we got a couple more. Also, people in the chat saying Aaron Taylor Johnson for Green Arrow or Nightwing. I could sooner see him as characters like that.
I can see him as a Nightwing.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, he'd be a sick Nightwing. Silhouetted Animator, again, you've been so supportive today. Thank you. When we eventually get that Blue Beetle sequel cartoon for the DCU, who do you think they should have as the villain, Brother Eye or the Reach? We need to phone a friend, get Coy on the line. Who should the Blue Beetle battle? Let's
the
see.
Reach. They created the thing. What's it called? Scarab. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They I think they're the original creators of that. Who did you say? Who's the other one? Catch. These are deep,
The
man.
Eye or the
You're challenging my memory.
Dr. Alchemy.
I don't know whose Brother Eye.
Omac.
The Reach. I have a vague memory of.
Brother Eye, DC. Ooh. Brother Eye is an all-seeing artificial intelligence orbiting the Earth.
Oh.
Originally created by Bruce Wayne to spy on other heroes to state his distrust, gained independence from his program, and unleashed the Omacs.
Why the fuck? That should be the easiest one to commit to memory. It's called Brother Eye.
Hey.
Anything of like fucking AI watching over is called Eye.
Yeah, the God's Eye.
Yeah, it's always some stupid.
All-seeing eye. IHOP.
My bad.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Your mistake indeed. I think he should fight the red ladybug. All right.
I'll go Brother Eye because that's the one I remembered.
All right. I'm just going to say The Reach because you also said it and Greg didn't choose it. I am Chef. Thank you for chiming in. I feel like Peacemaker Season 2 and Daredevil Born Again suffer from the same problem. Enough time to tell the stories that they need. Thoughts?
I don't know why Peacemaker Season 2 has that problem.
I don't know whose decisions those are.
Well, Daredevil makes more sense to me because of they had to contend with the strikes, and they also shot a lot of it, and they were like, "This is bad.
We gotta redo this whole thing.
We gotta rewrite this whole thing and
forgot
start
about that.
reshooting this
Yeah,
thing, and we got some footage we gotta mix in here too." Yeah. Like I think Daredevil Season 2 will probably be Burning In Season 2 will probably be really good. I think that will probably be fucking awesome.
Here's hoping.
Because the episodes that people really liked were the new ones, not the worked in weird ones. So yeah, I think Season 2 will probably be phenomenally upgraded in
Good.
quality.
That's what we like to hear.
It's sad that it wasn't as strong as it should have been after years of trying to get this fucking guy back. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That even for someone like me who had been waiting for the goddamn day for so long, and then when it happens, I'm like, this could have been cooler. Yeah.
No. It makes me sad. It's all right. It's all right.
Like, I don't know who would rank it as better than any of the first 3 seasons.
That's generally the vibes I've gotten, is no one seems to be Netflix levels of enthusiastic. Even though people do like a lot of stuff about it, I heard an equal amount of criticism about it.
Yeah, no, it's not.
General
I
zeitgeist.
don't.
And I remember when the hype was all hype, when people were like, Daredevil's coming back, it's going to save the MCU. And then when it got here, there were definitely varying opinions and takes.
I mean, the show was huge. They greenlit 2 more seasons.
Oh, yeah. I know. I heard. You guys have talked about it.
And they did something gory.
Oh, did they? How did it compare to
They
that
did
car door?
They did do a really gory moment. There was one moment that was incredibly gory.
Cool. I like gore. I'm gonna watch the show.
I'll put it on top of the level of like one of the goriest things the Daredevil show's ever done.
Okay. Cool. What kind of gag?
He rips a guy's face apart.
Does he really?
Yeah, and it's like all in
Cool.
camera.
Wow. Cool. Poor guy, but cool. This is how you sell me a show.
But at the same time, there's like a surrounding mood to it that has to have. Like people remember the head smash scene in the car because of everything it did for the character too. Of a guy who you're watching an entire episode be very calm and all about his date, and then it gets fucking interrupted. And then one moment he loses it, and you don't even see the head smash. You just hear a lot of it. You see a little bit of it, but but people remember that moment. This, like, I had to rack my brain for a second and be like, oh yeah, there was an extremely gory thing that happened.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. All right. I like to see them at least taking some of the gloves off. Yeah. I feel like timing. Yeah, that's the main thing I see in these shows now that they need to work out, is how to get episodes to be the right amount of time to feel substantial, and also how to distribute that time across the show. It's such a weird product of the now. I've never seen this so consistently. All right. I am... Nope. We did that. Oh my God, we're at the top.
No, you have to refresh it.
Well, I will, but I'm at the top of this one, and I'm going to take that victory. Joshua J. Gonzalez, before we refresh. Thoughts on ending of season?
We're so late to the stream.
Oh, yeah. Just play it from the beginning, because that's where we started. Yes, ending of Peacemaker left me confused AF. It definitely caught more relevance when the comments came in letting us know that salvation was a thing that we should be aware of. It definitely seemed like a big revelation. Ooh, this intergalactic, interdimensional prison. Interesting. As an episode, a lot of great emotional moments, a lot of great acting, a lot of great ideas, and overall a kind of oddly lumpy, weirdly kind of paced end to a season that also is that way.
Yeah. You summed it up best, John. Thanks for the
Hey.
super chat.
Absolute
I
vodka.
think we got 2 more, and then yeah.
We got 2 more soups. Let's go, and I'll refresh the Streamlabs just for good measure, just in case Hey, the colors are starting to look okay. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, let's do this quadro to close out the Streamlabs here. We got Lachlan Wright throwing down some thoughts. Let's see. Part 1. Okay, these are in 2 parts that are distributed in reverse. So I'm going to read these in an odd order. Part 1. Hey, big fan. Thank you. I always had this thought.
I don't see it on the screen.
Oh, might be. Here, part 1. Where am I? Up here? There we go. All right, cool. Part 1. Hey, big fan. I always had this thought, and it was to do with the Marvel Universe and possibly the DC Universe. It would possibly stop the boxed-in phase build-up scenario.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Part 2. Imagine if after the first build-up, they then made each phase/chapter a continuous storyline, but from a shifted perspective of whose film it was, similar to the comics, with 1 or 2 different disconnected stories to help still grow the universe. And then Lachlan goes on to say...
Wait, can you read that? I want to read that one more time. Sorry.
Yeah.
After the first build, they made each phase chapter a continuous storyline, but from a shifted perspective of whose film it was, similar to the comics. Okay, all right, I understand.
And then
I've been hoping Man of Tomorrow is Lex Luthor's POV.
Yeah, and I mean this seems like kind of, at least there's a potential for what you're talking about here. Potentially, maybe, I don't know. Sorry for the long message. Lachlan goes on to say, "Don't know."
Can you scroll up, please?
Sorry, yeah. There we go. Sorry for the long message. Don't know if I explained it well. Big fan. Also, will you ever go to Sydney, Australia? Part 2. Okay, so this is this is repeated. Gotcha. Cool.
No refunds.
No refunds. I would love to go to Sydney, Australia. I don't know when it'll happen, but I will make it happen in this life, and I would love that.
I haven't asked Mr. Sunday Movies to do a collab because I still have a weird fantasy of going to Australia and hitting
asking him yourself.
I don't see him coming to California, but I would love to go to Australia.
Well, that's
and
right, James.
Just fucking make it happen.
We should go to America.
Literally, when someone says Australia, all I think about is collaborating with it. That's
Yeah.
honest
that
to
red
God
hot
truth
comic book movie
is
news coming out
fucking
your butt.
Just being there for 1 hour. It's the
Yeah.
one thing I think about. Anything else, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure there's some cool sights and kangaroos and giant fucking spiders or whatever, but
Yes.
I only just really care to meet Mr. Sunday Movie.
That's Australia for you. I share that.
That's my Australia.
Go to New Zealand, take the Lord of the Rings tour, go to Australia, see Mr. Sunday Movies and Nick Mason.
But Lachlan, right? I mean, your proposed idea, I don't feel like we'll work with every character, but for a while, Coy and I both have been hardcore championing that they should do something that is solely from Lex Luthor's perspective. But you're right, they do have a lot of characters where they will go, all right, I mean, they even do it with Joker sometimes. They should. That would make things fresh and unique. And even earlier in the stream, I was saying that I wish they could do something where you really feel like you potentially might side with Lex, and that would be a great way to. I really like the idea. I've only thought about it from Lex's perspective, but I haven't considered the possibility of extending beyond Lex into way more characters. And I think you're right. I think that would be a really more than just, hey, let's do our Clayface movie, but literally like a next chapter in the same canon, the same storyline, universe, whatever timeline you want to call it. If they did just go, let's focus on Rick Flag's POV now. That would probably be a really cool way to do it.
Yeah, doing like a Rashomon would be very cool, and I think a unique. It'd be hard because pivoting would be hard if something wasn't working right. But I think the idea of choosing this phase has this plot line, and we are going to examine it from different people's perspectives. We're going to see some heroes in a villainous light from certain perspectives, and vice versa. And I think that could be really cool and a cool way to like clue people in as to why a similar situation has such a varying tone. I think it would be an undertaking. It'd be hard to get a studio to commit to like 6 movies that are all the same story, but each has a different array of characters. Like you'd have to plan it out like some kind of, 1.5 to 2 hour long episode bearing TV series at that point, you know. But I think that would be an interesting bridging of the gap between what we've seen with both the, you know, streaming shows and the movies of today. So I think it's a really interesting idea for sure. For sure. Let's hop back over to the soups, to the super chat.
Am I bleeding?
Are you bleeding? I was wondering what that streak was, and then I was looking at you, and I'm like, well, your hand doesn't seem to be bleeding. You have like a secret nosebleed?
Do I?
I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, wait. We should be looking at you when we're talking about that. All right. Anyway, I'm back at the super chat.
I don't know what that is.
It's your battle paint now.
I see you guys in the chat talking about it.
No. What's going on here? It's just you just look really cool. That's all. All right, let's see. Let's get like
Sometimes I bleed and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm bleeding.
yeah, you know, it's just a reminder of your vitality. Silhouetted animator Pennyworth is very Earth X inspired. It's underrated. Really? I had no idea actually about that.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people really defend that show. I like when these shows. I thought about that earlier today. I know a couple people where I should pitch them on doing one of those Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recap shows.
You should. Oh my God.
People would tune in for it.
Dude, I can rewatch the show again and be like, what did you guys do with this day?
Do you recall all this thing you did like 20 years ago? What happened that day?
You know what was really funny?
Like the fucking 24 episodes per season that you do.
You know what was really funny is watching the Q&A for Devil's Rejects with Rob Zombie and Sherry Moon they were very funny because he was very candid in the moments where he's like, I don't fucking remember, it was 20 years ago. Like, I don't remember this. Like, I think the interviewer could have done a better job asking more interesting questions for a 20-year anniversary, but it was a very charming thread of just like whenever he was like, I'm not sure. He was just like, yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. All right, Charlie's Flicks Fix. Thank you for chiming in. John looking like Silent Bob and Jay mixed, and I'm kind of into it. Snooch to the nooch, my friend. I got to see more of those movies there. Also, while this comment is spotlighting me, I'm just going to go ahead and shout out Over the Garden Wall for Halloween as well. Terrific animated series that is very autumnal. Just got shown it, and I adore it. House on Haunted Hill, too. All right. Oh, and we got a Clayton Crook little corgi sticker. It's Cheddar from Brooklyn Nine-Nine saying bye-bye because it's the end of the stream. We made it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, gang.
We're going to have a hard close on this one now. So thank you guys so much for being here. This is a very long one, and I desperately want to stand.
I
but
could do with a stand break.
It's weird to leave with one story, and how that ended up being a super long because, you know, John and I will sometimes deviate.
We like to get into the nitty and the gritty.
Unfortunately and fortunately, it can happen, and now we have massively delayed the schedule. So thank you guys so much, though. This was a fun one today. I'm glad we could have this conversation. We did not need Koi. We succeeded.
Yeah, we did it.
You replaced him suitably.
Oh, thanks, gang. I do what I can. I'm just trying to live up to Koi all day.
You did do a really good job holding down the fort here and all the tech stuff that kept happening and recalibrating, too, for anytime it went wrong. So thank you guys to everyone who contributed to our stream, Laz and Super Chats. Shouts out to Chris Whamoff for generating a fucking massive one for us earlier.
Chris.
And I hope you guys have a really good rest of your weekend. You can always tell when I'm ready to go. I have a hard time hiding it. I have a hard time hiding when I'm annoyed, angry, or ready to go.
Yeah, it's all right. We're
like,
good.
Yep, it's going to show on my face, and I'm tired of trying to hide it. It always happens.
We've done all the
things. I do not have a
things.
good poker face when it comes to 3 certain types of emotions.
Nah, you're fine, G. You don't need to hide. You just need to be who you are, because that's what the people love, and we love you guys. Thank you for being here today. Sending love from here, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Pieces.
Good job, John. You did it, Juan.
I did it. I've done it.